We'll call this meeting to order. It's great to have all you here in the audience. And it's a great reason to be here, so I'm looking forward to Officer Mayhew being sworn in. With that being said, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Boss?
Present.
Hippia?
Present.
Graham? Here. Hughes?
Present.
Fry?
Present.
Schroller? Throm?
Present.
Barnes?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Great. Before we do the swearing in, I just wanted to read a proclamation for Police Week. It says, whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which it falls is Police Week, and whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police has declared law enforcement officer safety and wellness a top priority, and the IACP's Office for Officer Safety and Wellness promotes the importance of individual, agency, family, and community safety and wellness awareness. And whereas the members of law enforcement agencies of the City of Marysville play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Marysville, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against opposition or intimidation. And whereas the Police Department of Marysville has grown to be modern and scientific law enforcement agency, which unceasingly provides a vital public service, now therefore I, Mayor Carla Grun, call upon all citizens of Marysville and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 13th through May 19th as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies in which all of our people may join in commemorating police officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to our communities, and in so doing have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon all citizens of Marysville to observe Tuesday, May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, to honor those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives and have become disabled in the performance of duty. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Marysville to be affixed, done at the City of Marysville this 14th day of May 2018. So, thank you for all your service, and we just had several officers and the chief receive Valor Awards last week, and they're very deserving, and thank you for all you do for our city. All right, now Debbie's going to swear in Officer Mayhew.
Thank you, Mayor, for that proclamation. This is Justin Mayhew. He's been with us for a week now. He's going to do a swearing in now with Debbie.
If you would raise your right hand and swear, or please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of Police Officer 2 of the City of Marysville, Kansas. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
He's rotating.
Put it in deep.
Thank you again for coming back home and serving our community.
Thank you. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you serve. We will move on with the approval of minutes. In your packet are the proposed amendments on pages 2 through 6 that I proposed. Did anyone have any other amendments?
Yes, on page 4 of 5, at the bottom it says page 5, under Administration and Finance. I think the sentence should read starting on the third line, increase the minimum and maximum range rate for ranges 6 through, I'm not sure what the last range is, Debbie?
Okay, through the, I know what you're talking
Okay.
about. I think it might be
By
19 or 20.
37 cents per hour.
Okay, and you'll give that word by word for Debbie?
Yes.
Did you have anything else?
No.
Did anyone else have amendments? I would entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Just a moment. On the street committee meeting, it is page 4, and maybe I didn't hear it right, but it said, discussion continued on the material working and how long it would be left down for proper testing. Concerns were also relayed about the time and labor involved of our employees to put the millings down. Council then unanimously consented to proceed with the test in the brush dump road. I thought we, as a group, decided 1 year. Does anybody else remember that?
No, I don't remember having a discussion of 1 year.
No? Okay. Okay,
Did
for some
anyone
reason
else?
that's stuck. Did you guys remember any of that?
I just remember we thought we were gonna have to wait for a while to see how it held up.
Okay.
I can't remember if we decided on an
I don't
action.
think
Might
we
have
ever
said it might take a year.
Might take a year, okay.
Because we wanted
There
to
we go.
blade it and see.
Yeah,
That was it.
that's probably it.
Okay, might take a year.
Okay, so you're okay leaving that as it is?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Move to approve the minutes of April 23rd with amendments.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. The next item is public comments. Anyone who is not on the agenda is welcome down to the podium. Give your name, your address, and your ward, and you may speak for up to 5 minutes. All right, we will move along to the business and discussion items then. Were you standing up, Dave? Okay. Mandy, you're up. Mandy Cook.
Good evening, Council. My name is Mandy Cook. I'm from Ward 1, and I'm here through the Marysville Public Library. So last year for our summer reading program, we did, the theme was Build a Better World. And so for the 6th grade and up, we put together an idea of putting a little free library together. A little free library, the concept of it is that as travelers go through, or people here in town, as they go through, that they'll either take a book from this little free library, this thing that we have made, and take it with them so they don't have to return it, or if they happen to have done that somewhere else, they can leave one for someone else to enjoy. So we got together a good idea grant from the Manhattan system, and so our total was about $6 that we had to pay, which is pretty awesome. And honestly, I don't want to tell you any more about it because it wasn't my project. So therefore, I have a couple of my summer reading program people here that are going to come up and help me.
Awesome.
So, all right. Grace and Ian, if you want to come up.
Well, my name is Ian Cook, and obviously the spawn of this thing. Now, not only is Little Free Library an organization, but it has a map. This organization has a map of over 60,000 of these little things from over 80 countries worldwide. In fact, I actually have the official seal of approval that we need to put on so it to be on the map.
Cool.
Hi, my name is Grace Schroller, and our free little library was donated by Sarah Kessinger, and it was actually an old newspaper stand. and we actually made like a brick-looking thing on it for the painting process.
My intention actually was to bring it tonight, but I didn't feel very well today, so I wasn't able to bring it, but you're sure welcome to stop by the library to see it anytime if you'd like. Sorry.
And really, the place where we want to put it is right by the highway in City Park, right next to the restrooms. So if you're gonna go use the restrooms, you might as well have a book to read. It's a double hit. Killing two birds with one stone.
Oh, that's grand.
For the safety of our newsstand, we would put a sandbag over it so it would be safe and it wouldn't tip over.
Okay.
That was actually one of the considerations that Sarah, when she gave it to us, she said this has a tendency, it feels like it's top heavy. We've removed all the stuff that would make it top heavy, like the money, obviously it's free. But just to be sure that it wouldn't fall over on anybody, we would make it bottom heavy with a sandbag in the bottom of it. So your question probably is, well, who would take care of this? I'm asking you as to whether it's okay if I keep it there, but the library, we have a book sale all the time, so we would populate the books in it, and we honestly think that it's kind of a nice place to market the library as well. We would have a couple of our newsletters and maybe some things in there that people could grab, because it has a place where one of the current newspapers was inside of it, so it's a great place to put information about the library as well. So we are just here to see whether that's something that you would be willing to let us do. Is there any questions for the council?
I understand Ian's point, but my question was, you don't want to put it by a bench so people actually sit and read it by a bench?
You know, we're kind of up to suggestions. We thought the bathroom, because if people are stopping in the park, that's probably the reason why they're stopping. So if it was like closer maybe to the highway, but by the bathroom.
Well, did we just put new benches on Highway 77?
One new bench.
Yeah.
About 2/3 south through the park facing the highway.
Just south of the squirrel.
Yeah, well, you know, I would hope that they would stop and see our squirrel.
I would agree. And we're open. That was just a suggestion. We don't, at least I don't think.
How do you guys feel about that? I just thought it should have a bench. Tell me, do most people sit and read it, or they actually take it with them, or both?
My guess is both. I really do think that this is more for travelers than it is people in Marysville, just because it's one of those things that you don't have to feel like you have to bring anything back. That's the great thing about having the book sale. When we weed our books off the shelf, we'll be able to continually populate it. So
if it's on Highway 77, it'd be really visible, though.
It's bright red.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's kind of what I was thinking. If it was on the highway, it'd be really easy for people to stop, pull up, and see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know more about it than I do.
And is this, last year you had that little walk book. Is this instead of that, or are you still going to do that walk book?
Well, this was last year for Build a Better World. The summer reading program this year is Libraries Rock.
Okay.
So I haven't done anything for a story walk yet. Like thinking about it, but that shouldn't, it won't take the place of it necessarily. We just haven't.
Because I did enjoy that. Walking through and reading the story, I thought that was really good.
Thank you.
So right now, you just want us to approve going forward, and does someone specifically want to help her with the placement, or?
Yeah, I would love if there's a specific spot.
Does Park and Rec Committee want to help her place it? Or
It sounds like it's just going to be highly movable anyways, because it's just gonna have a sandbag in the bottom.
You need to sit on concrete, probably.
It just kind of depends on where you want it. It does have, it's like thin metal to sheet of metal. That's what the legs are. So if it's not going to be on a sidewalk, then yes, it probably needs to have something secure, even if just rock, just to bolster it.
Well, is everyone okay with them doing it? Is it consensus? Yes.
Yes.
Sure. So why don't we just have Parks and Rec? We'll work with where to place it. I'm sure they can do that.
Perfect.
Okay?
Perfect.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mandy. Thanks for being so creative. Thank you, Ian and Grace, for coming and painting it. Very nice.
All right.
I'm anxious to see it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Wayne. That's a tough act to follow.
That is a tough act. Great choice. Wayne Cruzy representing the Arts Cooperative this evening. Our June exhibition features Jeff Bauer, a former Marysville resident, graduate of Marysville High School, class of 1990, son of Wayne and Mary Ann Bauer, if that helps jog your memory. He is a wood artist, and he'll be exhibiting his wood art throughout the month of June. On June 7th, he'll be in town. We're having a reception from 5 until 6:30, and we request that we can serve wine and beer at the reception, please.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
Move for the consumption request for MCAC at the Lee Dam Arts Center.
Exactly.
For June 7th? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You got it.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to, is this things that he'll have displayed inside? So are they wood sculptures?
Sculptures, vases, jewelry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, great stuff.
Great. Will he be having it there during the barbecue as well? The whole month of June?
No, it starts on June 7th.
Okay.
We have rentals that weekend.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Just
why.
curious.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, Kyle, you're up.
Good evening, council. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My intention tonight is to seek approval to move forward with a project I've been working on since probably middle of December. Would be Black Squirrel Disc Golf Course located in City Park. I believe you all should have a handout that gives the outline of the course itself. It is a 9-hole course with baskets that will be able to be removed, concrete tee pads. Basically, when I say they're removable, you'll be able to pull them out of the ground for events like this last weekend with Mother's Day flea market. And then how they're built would be, you'd be able to put a sprinkler valve cover over them so they'd be flush with the ground. You wouldn't have to worry about mowers driving into the holes or people stepping in the holes. The benefit of this that I have is that I have this course, all 9 holes, fully funded from local businesses in the area. 9 holes, I've been working with a major company on the East Coast called Innova, and they have been very, very helpful in basically giving me everything that I need to know and accomplish to reach this point. I guess the other 2 handouts that you would have are the what the T signs would look like. So similar to golf at a regular golf course, it would give the hole location or basket location relative to the tee pad, as well as the footage and what the par would be for that specific hole. They would probably be about the size of a laptop in how big they are, and be mounted in the ground with a 4x4 or some sort of support that would be right off of the tee box itself. I'm sure you probably all have quite a few questions in regards to this, but I feel as though there would be many benefits to the city of Marysville to bring a course here to City Park. One, it's affordable. 2, it appeals to multiple demographics, young, old. Anybody can do it. It's an easy way to get your steps in without really thinking about getting your steps in for the day. Low environmental impact. Basically, the concrete would be in the ground. However, it would be set into the ground to where mowers could go directly over it. You would not have to get out and weed eat around it, but it would be elevated enough to where it would shed water as well as dirt. It wouldn't be a pool. Basically, this would increase park visits. I don't know, probably April in Emporia. They have one of the United States' largest disc golf tournaments that draws over 1,200 participants. That's participants, not even vendors, spectators, family members of vendors and participants. And I feel like that we could have something, maybe not on that large a scale, but definitely have benefit tournaments, could have fundraising tournaments. In fact, there's a tournament that they have every winter called Ice Bowl that donations feed the hungry, and since 1996 they've raised $3.5 million for the hungry. There's also Educational Disc Golf Experience, or EDGE, and it's a youth organization to offset the incidence of childhood obesity in towns. They promote basically young men and women getting out and walking and being physically active, and I think that we can all agree that's definitely an important thing. To kind of go along with that as well, since it would be located right across the street from the school, both physical education teachers have said that they would incorporate this into the school curriculum since it is so close to the area. But again, I have this, it is fully funded from local businesses, and basically, again, I'm just seeking approval to move forward with this and see about if we can take the next step to possibly have this put into this.
Okay, I'll ask the first question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so how heavy are they when you said they were removable?
The baskets?
Yeah.
I think that they are probably right at 200 pounds, so not terrible. Two guys could move them fairly easily.
Whoa.
They are, the structure itself is they're dug into the ground, again, with a female end pole and a male mounted pole that's locked, so it is a locking mechanism that you can have a master key to unlock all of them.
So we wouldn't want to take them out very often if they're
No,
200
I mean,
pounds.
they could be.
Just for a major event.
Yeah, like Mother's Day weekend or any other events that would be deemed to not have disc golf there. Another thing that we do is put a course closed sign on the sign itself. I would be responsible for removing all of the holes. I would need ample time to
Get strength?
for just time for me, you as the council to say, hey, this is an event this weekend. Please have all the holes removed and covered.
Yeah, I'm
in
thinking
time.
like the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah,
Use of City Park
yep.
and Mother's Day. I'm not sure of any.
And that's kind of, would these stay out through the winter?
Yeah, they are very durable. They're very high strength steel that they are. In fact, I've seen and I've played disc golf in the winter. It's not terribly cold.
I didn't know if they need to come in and out seasonally or if it was...
No, they would remain a fixture there until we needed to remove them for a specific event, such as the Mother's Day or Easter egg hunt.
So from the city standpoint, you would do all the installation and everything?
Yes, I've coupled with the donations from local businesses, I've gotten a lot of volunteers.
Okay.
I would be doing all the concrete work, with help, obviously. But yeah, I mean, this is something that I could get set up.
I was at
I
Emporia
have
for I was at the Emporia for the state basketball tournament, and I went to their convention and tourism people, our office, and they were talking about that disc golf and where they have that international competition and how many people they draw.
Yeah,
so it's pretty amazing. Are most of these in a city park, though?
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Okay, that was my question.
There is actually 3 courses in Manhattan. One is at the Tuttle Creek State Park below the dam. There's another one in Fairmont Park, and then Warner Park above, I think it's the Arby's Target area. So yeah, they are in public areas that can be accessed.
And I assume you'd have some type of signage.
Yes.
I mean, other than this PAR signage, you'd have some kind of disc golf signage?
Yes, Black Squirrel Disc Golf Course would, and actually Convention and Tourism has graciously agreed to fund the big, we plan it to be a 3-foot tall by 6-foot long, big sign that says Marysville Convention and Tourism, Black Squirrel Disc Golf, and it gives a layout.
Is that going to be like where that, at that corner where Marysville?
It would be near the parking lot by the swimming pool, just west of the swimming pool. That way parking...
Is that where hole 1 is?
That would be where hole 1 is, yes, relative. And it's kind of covered up from the legend in the top left corner of that.
Now, where would it be from the parking lot for the pool?
Hole 1 would be across the west walking trail, and that's where it would start and work its way
On the
around.
west side of the rocking trail.
Just barely on the west side of the walking trail, if you see on the map.
Because we just sold, is Chris Butler still here? Yeah. We just sold part of that
This
land.
looks like it's in the still the right of way we maintain.
It would be, yes.
Okay, all right, those are my questions. Who else would like to ask a
Well,
question?
I have a concern because so many small children
Yes.
play in this area, and I'm sure, you're very accurate. Me, no, no. Did you not look at where there is somewhat of a disc golf course up by the softball fields? Did you not look up there?
Yes, and that's more for a recreational type course. It wouldn't be U.S. Disc Golf Association approved with the permanent tee boxes, that sort of thing. The space up there is limited working around the softball fields up there, as well as the pond. This plan that I have come up with was done with a gentleman who is out of Harrington, Kansas, and he designs disc golf courses. He's got a fairly extensive resume.
Well, I'm sure, the course would be neat. My concern is there are many small children and they're not going to be watching.
Understood, and that would be...
And again, people like me who are not very good.
Well, and that would be something that the thrower would have to be very cognizant of. Obviously it's not something that you'd want to throw if there's people or vehicles in the way. Similar to regular golf. There's the two holes.
Well, that's true.
I wait, because there may be something that I may snap hook one into the road. So that's something that would need to be taken into consideration for the judgment.
If the disc hit somebody, would it hurt?
Minimal. I mean, they're not going to be going as fast.
They're heavier than a Frisbee?
Well, they're similar to a Frisbee. They're not much heavier or lighter.
Are they plastic?
Yeah, they're plastic.
Did you bring one?
I did not. I apologize. I did not, no.
Sorry.
No.
So, are there many disc golfers locally now, or would this serve them, or would this be bringing people in primarily?
I believe it would be bringing people in as well as serving. I've had a lot of support. People. There was an article in the Advocate that outlined what my goals were, and I've had a lot of people come up to me. In fact, at the Mother's Day market, I had a gentleman say, hey, this is something that we went to Fairmont Park, we went to Lakeview, and the course is there, and you can play it, but it would be nice to have something fixed, even right here. So I've gotten a lot of comments and support from local people saying that this would be something they think would be great for them and their families to be able to come out and play, as well as when I want to play disc golf, I have to go to either Fairbury or Manhattan. There's nothing right here in the immediate vicinity that would...
I would love you to build one out there at Ferry Park. Nobody uses Ferry Park.
Not a big enough space probably, though.
How about along the levee? You don't think you could use it along the levee? Okay, I was just trying to get people...
There's all signs to stay off of that
Just trying to
levee.
get
There's
people...
signs, and somebody would throw it into the rail yard.
They are, I think the regulation would be 6 foot by 10 foot long.
Okay.
I think that would be the maximum. That they
What would you just ask?
The tees.
box?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
6 by 10?
6 by 10 is what he said, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
So is it complicated to learn to play, or is it pretty much just golf with the
It's
disc?
pretty much golf with a Frisbee, and the baskets are chain structures that would catch the discs. They are baskets, but they come down.
And very low maintenance.
Very, very low maintenance, again, very durable. Most places leave their stuff out year-round as well, so yeah.
I have a question. Right away, you got people coming in using the park, campers, walking back and forth to restrooms and everything. Somebody gets hit in the face with one of these, even though it don't hurt, who's got the right of way? I mean, if you're having a tournament, these people got to move their camp or their tents, or
And that's something that we took into consideration, is that where the holes would be located, that we would not interfere with camper or tent space. However, I think that the pedestrians would obviously have the right of way. The people throwing the disc would need to be cognizant of where they're throwing and what their capabilities are to not throw. I'd like to say common sense, but sometimes that's not very common.
Well, even common sense doesn't work on a golf course if you get hit with a golf ball.
That's very true, absolutely.
And the city, if the city's going to allow this, is there going to be some liability, and who is going to take care of the liability?
I believe that the liability would fall upon the person throwing. I mean, if I were to hit a golf ball into a windshield, that would be on me as the person not being cautious enough to understand what would happen.
I think we probably need to look into that.
I think there is correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an attorney, but I think there's a statute about cities as far as activities in city parks that are traditional to city parks, and there's a certain amount of protection. I mean, it can be something that can be checked into.
I think we probably need to check that. We want to go in.
Cities get a special statutory protection.
I mean, maybe you even have to put something, play at your own risk, or something like that.
Yeah,
You might have to do.
liable.
And then the other thing is this basket 7, is it going to go right by the squirrel? Are you going to?
I mean, it could.
You could hit the squirrel? I mean,
Darlene could.
I'm a little nervous about the squirrel on bucket 7.
And not only that, say kids may aim for the squirrel.
It's pretty close to the road, though.
What'd you say?
It looks pretty close to the road when you bring it up on the computer there. Because the white line he's got going through there is where the road is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that from that T box to
Shooting
7.
across it, yeah.
Yeah, the squirrel, where the squirrel is. You guys have any other questions for him? Because what I think I'd like to do is have the Parks and Rec Committee just walk it with them, visualize where these pads are going to be, and come back and make a recommendation. I think that's the next step. Because I think somebody should walk it and see the pads and kind of look at the squirrel. And in the meantime, we can have, check the liability.
And also take some Frisbees with you and see what it's like. Because have any of the rest, I have played disc golf. Have any of the rest of you played?
I'm sort of tried, kind of.
You're so trendy there, Darlene.
Thank you,
So
Mayor.
are you all right if you meet with the Parks and Rec Committee?
Absolutely.
Just walk it with them so they can give a recommendation?
Do you want somebody from, maybe Austin or somebody from the Parks and Cemetery Department to be there? Somebody
that's
as far as the
probably true.
maintenance angle, just to make sure
probably
that's all
true.
square?
I think you're right. Are you all right with us
Yeah, absolutely.
waiting for the
Yeah.
next meeting and have them come back and report what they recommend?
I would be
And you'll
happy.
meet with them?
Yeah, I'd be happy to
Walk
do
it with
that.
them?
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, that's great.
And Debbie will find out about liability. That's a big thing for the
Yeah,
city.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, looks great.
And bring Frisbees.
Frisbees next.
Thank you.
Yeah, bring some discs.
I sure will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll see you next week, or next meeting?
I would check to see what all these other city parks, if you look around, all these are placed in city parks. At Emporia, they have Peter Pan Park and another park. You name the parks in Manhattan. Beatrice, it's in Chautauqua Park. So that's where they go, is in city parks. So you need to call those other towns and find out as well that, to me, city parks is probably the best place for that. People driving by will stop if you have a course and play it.
All right, well, Debbie will contact the other cities and see what they have to say, and what if they do any liability things, or put a sign up, and we could check with legal counsel, so. If you're all right, come back next time?
Yeah.
And arrange a meeting through Debbie. Debbie will arrange it with you.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. All right, anxious to see what our rec committee says. Walking it, we'll get a few steps in. Okay, Todd, Chief, you're up.
Good evening. Austin placed on the agenda tonight the new SRO position with the city we've looked at. Our committee has met, which is our police committee, and 2 members of the school board, the administrator, and Austin and I. We all met on it. And we're looking at agreements now But what we need to know is if the city still wants to move forward with this before we start looking at people. We've actually got a pretty good lead on somebody, but we need to make sure that this is something the city still wants to go forward with before we start talking to people about that. That's a pretty big movement. We want to make sure that everybody's still on board with it.
Didn't you bring up a grant or something? Is that going to work?
If we do it, what I'm going to try to use a COPS grant for to do is to pay for the position so we can put somebody in the school.
Okay, well, that's what I would think.
Yeah, that's what the Department of Justice put out a memo here about a month ago, that the COPS grant is now giving priority to SROs in schools.
So that grant would only pay for those 9 months?
No, it pays for less. Like, because you're going to pay the whole salary, you're just going to get reimbursed 75% of it. So the COPS grant would pay for that.
I think when we talked about it the last time, we just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just the salary, but it was benefits,
It's the whole package, just retirement. Austin had some numbers for you guys, and it's just the whole package. They're not looking at just salary alone. It's retirement, your FICA, everything.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that they picked up all of that, yeah.
You bet.
And then the 3 months is summertime actually a more active time for law enforcement? I mean,
it is for us. What we also look at is vacations and stuff. I think we'll have somebody help cover vacations, stuff like that. And then plus, we will also have them during like any spring break or winter break for Christmas. They're out for 2 weeks. We get the officer back during that time as well.
Oh, okay. And so do you see this officer doing code compliance or not? No code compliance, okay.
I'm all for finding somebody for code compliance. I saw the list that was submitted. That's a pretty hefty list. But you know darn well as I know, Dave isn't going to have the time to continue to do something like that. It's going to take somebody on it all the time.
Okay, so yours is more that it would give you some relief on your staffing for the 3 months.
It's because summertime, everybody's got, excuse me, vacations and everything else going on in summer, especially with our bigger events. Because you think about it, between 4th of July, the barbecue, the Mother's Day, we have a lot of events in Marysville throughout the whole summer. You know, this gives us more people to help with that.
So Sergeant Oldie doesn't want this position?
No, we're not going to let Sergeant Oldie if he wanted it. He's the assistant chief. We can't have the assistant chief.
I know that he gets along really well with the kids. So.
No, he does. He's got one very good report. He would work with him because, or her, whoever is hired, but he has the certifications, and hopefully this other new person will as well. But he's going to have to make the introduction, break him into the school, stuff like that. So they'll work hand in hand. We're just not letting him stay there full time anymore.
Okay. You guys have any other questions?
Just getting ready to retire?
Yes, that's another position we'll be looking to replace. But see, with Mr. Mayhew, we got tonight, that replaces Officer Anderson. But because it takes so long trying to find people, the SRO position is such a specific one that we're trying to find somebody. Dave has a network that he works with throughout the whole state. We're looking for somebody to try to relocate, or somebody who wants to do something no longer there. Like I know one guy, the school actually killed the program. So we want to make sure we find somebody like that if we could. Otherwise, you're talking probably, what, a year worth of training to get him to where Dave's at now? You know, that's a lot of training that we have to pay for. So if we can find somebody that's already got it, it's worth it.
Looking at with the comment you just made, looking into this, we're not going to have this SRO officer for a year or two, and the school's going to say, we don't want one anymore.
No, we could go ahead and start them, because by statute, there's only one certification that they have to have, and it's a one-day class because of the new Senate bill last year. Okay. Other than that, they don't have to have it. We teach them train them in SRO and DARE, so they have classes to teach how to work with children, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, it's not a mandate. Only one is a mandate.
Well, Dave is willing to give this part of his job up.
He would still help.
He's smiling. I just want, we don't want to kick you out, Dave. We want to make sure we want you to do what you want to do. Okay.
Dave and I spoke many times about this whole thing, and we did talk to other officers in the department, because SILA itself is also certified SRO, but they like what they're doing on the street instead of being stuck in the school all the time.
Okay. So you just want, that we want to
Just
proceed with
permission to
this?
proceed with it, you know.
I think we're on board, aren't we? Everybody?
I got one question for you, Tom. Is this gonna change your budget for having to have another vehicle?
It will, well, the vehicle, no, they've agreed for, if we have to have a vehicle, they would, like an older Suburban or something that they already have, that they could drive, you know, to and from the school, stuff like that, or to school, because it's not just for the high school, junior high, it's for USD 364. So it'll be any school in their school district.
So they'll provide the vehicle for the 9 months? That's a good question.
Yeah. Now, say I need to use them, that would be in the agreement. Say we have something major go on, and it's even during the school, we still will have the right to pull them out and use them. Then we'll
Makes
put them
sense.
in a regular patrol car then.
Did you have something else?
But it's not gonna change the budget as
It
far
will
as...
change, it will change the budget a little. Austin has the numbers there for you.
But you won't have this
Minimal.
person in place in 2018, will you?
What's that?
Are you, what's your
Well, if we
timeline?
can push this the way we're looking at, we'd like to have them ready to go by the school year.
Okay, and
in
then,
August.
then we would budget it for 2019?
Yes.
Because they would incur the cost for the first,
For the
September,
75%. Yeah, if we get somebody hired in June or July, you're only talking a month or two maybe of salary. The rest is all paid for by the school for the rest of the year.
Okay.
And then we'd have to put it, like I say, Austin's got numbers for you guys that, for what we're gonna end up having to pay is very small compared to the school, that could be absorbed for the rest of the summer for two months, pretty easy.
But the numbers look, and if it was just the summer, it looks about $12,000. You factor in some of those break times, it might get to 13,000, maybe a little bit less than that. That includes, it's at an $18 an hour, and that includes the possible overtime, Social Security, Medicaid, capers. What I did not factor in, which I neglected to, is the health insurance that they would pick up.
well,
So
do we have budget authority and the police for that?
it would be just in the general fund, and I mean, we have that budget authority, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Same way, and employee benefits, we have enough in there.
Yes.
We don't have to, because we
Yeah,
zero it.
I tend to overestimate what we're going to expend, but yes.
What we would do, the school, by the contracts we're looking at, would reimburse us monthly.
Right.
So it would go out of the police department and back into the general fund, police department back into the general fund revenue on the budget?
Right.
On the general ledger?
Right, and I will talk with our new auditor and see how they like reimbursements, because I like reimbursements where they reimburse the line, where we don't have to worry about our budget authority being taken up, where we pay something and then we already know we're going to get the money back, so we just put it back on the line.
You can skew the line item if you know.
I've had
The revenue and expense on one line item?
so basically you put a negative. I've had auditors
Okay.
that like it. I've had auditors that don't like
I
it.
can't imagine they like that, but,
Yeah.
I can imagine where they put one line item for all the costs for an SRO and one line item for all the revenue of the SRO.
Right.
I can see that. It seems like you'd want to gross it up. So
But for this year, it would mainly. But for future years, if there were a concern that we were going to overshoot our budget authority and we didn't want to mess around with moving that or reauthorizing our budget or expanding our budget, we redoing it, or not redoing it, but
amending it, we don't want to amend it.
we don't want to amend it. So putting, for this year, that would be it. For next year, we'd include it all in our budget.
Okay. Do you anticipate getting somebody by June? You said June, July.
Or July, it depends who we find. We do have somebody that we have checked out, but until we do a full background and everything, it would be prudent to even discuss that person yet.
Okay.
We definitely, by August, I think we could have somebody. So you're talking minimal to the city.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense from a vacation standpoint. It works well for, I think, our staff.
I was
Our
amazed
police.
last week, the training, we were talking about where we got the awards at, how many cities are doing the exact same thing. Talking to Baker and Wamego, they're going through the same contracts as we are right now, but their school district has offered up 75% as well to bring somebody in full-time. Andover actually has 4 of them down there now. And it's pretty common.
There's been multiple emails on my listserv asking the exact same questions about SROs and sharing time.
So are you guys consensus of council to proceed? Based
We
on
can go
the
ahead and have
estimate?
permission to, we'll go ahead and file for the COPS grant as well. And to help reimburse. What it was is, it would lessen the money for the school as well, because the money, I think the first year is 90%, then it goes to 80%, and it goes down for 5 years.
And that's for the overall salary, not just the
Yes, that's
school.
for the overall package as well. So
But
we'll
not
also.
for another car. I mean, if you got.
No, if we ever wanted another car, we'd have to budget for that. This is strictly for the person themselves.
You think the COPS grant would be sufficient to cover the entire salary plus benefits?
COPS grant, that's what they're built for. It's originally built to put more people cops on the streets, but this year, we got the letter from the Department of Justice says the priority will go to SROs in the school.
Consensus council to proceed? Apply for the grant?
We'll proceed with the grant and
I see
everything.
all
We'll pay for
shaking
it.
heads yes.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
all right. Thanks,
Anything
Chief.
else, Austin, on that? All right, thanks.
Thanks for coming and enlightening us. All right, the next item is policy 882. I know this was a bit confusing. On page 14 was staff drafted it. Then on page 15 was my revision from the staff's draft, just so you understand what happened there.
My question was, it says, the water department will notify the residents and businesses as soon as possible. Don't you think we would rather have them working than worrying about notification? Because if we're going to be putting out, if anything happens on the Marysville's Facebook, and then in an emergency, we'll have the Marysville Advocate, KNDY information, and I don't know. I think I would rather have the guys taking care of the problem than wandering around.
I think it's both. I think as soon as possible means dealing with the emergency and doing it as soon as possible. I mean, we can change the wording, that nothing here is set in stone, but I think that that's non-business hours. That's emergency shut off and non-business hours. I just think, customer service is a big part of who we are as a city. And when it's, as soon as it's possible to notify them, they'll probably know if the water quits running, but, an explanation is always helpful, or an anticipation of how long it will be.
Well, and that's understandable, and I got that. But I'm just saying, do you want the guys going door to door telling people instead of?
I don't like the way the first
I
sentence.
don't like it. I don't like the way that's.
The way it's worded.
Yeah.
It says
First
will.
sentence,
The water department will notify City Hall personnel.
that's a phone call.
Okay.
That's during regular business hours.
Okay.
That's a phone call. Go
So
ahead.
you're gonna leave it to the water department to call them?
To call City Hall they're supposed to, in the way this reads, an emergency shut-off during regular business hours, the water department will notify City Hall personnel. Then the City Hall personnel will call those residents and businesses affected and post this information. If the emergency water shut-off is during non-business hours, the water department will notify the residents and business as soon as possible. That means deal with the issue and then notify. Do you want to change the wording on that?
Just as long as they understand
I mean, we can clarify that.
they're not going to be out there.
Yeah, we
worried
don't
about-
want those
If
guys.
there's an emergency,
going door to
notify them if
door.
They can, but we can't have all the guys running door to door and.
Because we need them digging the hole
Well,
and getting the stuff to repair it.
Well, how would you like to say that then?
I don't know how. I mean, that's.
Okay.
Well, on that second paragraph, we don't have anything about notification on Facebook or web, and I'm wondering, when it's after hours, if Austin or Debbie could put something out on the Facebook and the website.
For emergency one, that the city staff could still post it to Facebook, and is that possible, Austin?
Well, that would mean we'd have to come back to City Hall.
To post it to Facebook?
Well, not Facebook, but the website. We don't have access from outside of City Hall to the website. Facebook's a different thing. I mean, that's possible.
Well, how about just Facebook then?
I mean, if you say social media, change any reference of Facebook to social media, and you can include that. And I say social media because Facebook is social media, and someday Facebook won't exist. So,
So the water department will also ask to send
I would write, will, if possible, notify the residents and businesses. I guess it's in there,
I
it's
would
just
change
later.
it to feasible, when feasible.
You're talking, now, are you talking about the first paragraph?
Yeah, at the very end of it.
You're at the first paragraph. Everybody
First paragraph on the emergency.
When it says as soon as possible, you want to change to what?
When feasible.
When feasible?
Yeah, when feasible.
Okay, and then at the end, the second paragraph, you want to say city staff will update social media? Okay, well, the water department will ask to set up, city staff will update social media. Okay, so the water department will ask city staff to update social media and ask to send out phone messages and text messages. Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay.
I still wonder if updating the website, even if it's not right then, but later, so people know, I mean, people can go, what was the deal? And people who didn't see it on
So
social
city
media.
staff will update,
So if it happens on a Sunday, but you update it on Monday, at least somebody on Monday can go and see it. So I mean, there's times when I see something happen and I'll go and try to figure out what happened, and it's not easy to do.
so the city
It's
staff will
not-
update the city's website the next business day?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't tell them what's going on, but at least it tells them what happened so that they aren't complaining and, concerned, which I understand.
And that they understand it was an emergency.
Emergency,
I think that's
correct.
important, it's
Yeah.
communicated that we had no control over it.
Right.
Yeah. So does anybody else have a change? And we will get all these changes made and bring a clean copy to next time. So does anybody else have another amendment?
Yes, I would like the city hall personnel to notify the mayor and the city council members of water shut-off details by email. And I don't mean immediately, but
So you're saying
because
city
we get
staff will
questions.
city staff will update the city's website the next business day and send emails explaining the situation to governing body? Is that what you want?
Well, I would put that at the very bottom, so it...
For both situations?
Yeah.
Okay, we can get that worked out. Anything else?
So they're going to call every single person that's affected, or try to call them?
City Hall during
Yeah.
business hours? Yes.
So I'm assuming then they have a phone number on file for every
That's what
water
we've been
service?
working on, is there's a little, on the front desk, it says, do we have your current phone number? Isn't that what it says, Debbie?
Yeah, we're trying to update phone numbers, and sometimes it's...
So when people come
If we have
in,
their
they
number, we
ask them,
will,
doesn't Sammy ask them when they come in and pay their water bill?
we've been asking them.
A lot
Yeah,
of people may have had home phones they don't have anymore. Right.
so they're in that
Most
process.
people, yeah, a
And
lot of
they,
people don't have home phones.
and they
You can't
also,
find them phone
we're gonna put on the water bills, this last time you had something that had to go on them, right?
Water report.
But this next one, we can put it on, that we need your current phone numbers for emergency calls. So we can put that on the next. Are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
The next billing?
Sometimes we can't get a hold of people. Sometimes they don't have a machine and stuff, we just do our best.
Yeah, I mean, they make the call,
Yeah.
and they've been starting, since the one on 8th Street, they've been asking people when they come in to pay their water, a lot of people pay their water bill in-house, it's kind of amazing. So, okay, well, we'll revise A82 another time and bring it to the next meeting. Since Darlene had will you send her a draft and let her look at it and make sure she's happy? All right. That is the end of business and discussion items. Audrey, did you have something you wanted to share?
We needed to attend a city council meeting. We are fulfilling that requirement.
Okay.
Good,
If I
good.
could argue more viciously, it would be better.
So just so you know, Audrey, we're not quite done, but
meeting's not over.
Here till 10.
You know, there's There's
No.
6 of us, and we're double committed.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Everyone else left, and you didn't even say anything.
Well, I thought, okay, I had a reason. I thought maybe you missed public comments and there's something you wanted to present.
No.
I was trying to help you,
I
sorry.
appreciate that.
Instead of put you on the spot.
That's okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay. That is the end of business and discussion items, notices and hearings. Darlene?
Mayor, the Planning Commission met last Thursday, and Nick Stoll presented plans for a triplex residential unit, but where he wants to locate is in an R3, which is residential single family with light industry district. So the Planning Commission set up a public hearing for use permitted upon review hearing for June 14th.
Where is that? That's
It
proposed?
is next to, you know, where he built 2 units on, I believe it's
That 8th
Jackson
Street property.
Okay, that's why I want.
When do we have the bid opening on this?
Yeah.
We'll just call it
June
the 8th Street
6th?
property.
No, it's
No, he-
before the next, it's before the next council meeting.
I think I was told he owns the property where he's talking about.
No, I
Not
think
yet.
he's not yet.
Well,
He's getting the ball rolling.
you don't know when the bid?
I just looked at it. It's either Wednesday or Thursday before the next council.
The 23rd or 24th?
Yeah, I'll look. I have to announce it. I have to tell everybody. Anyways, well, it was in the last. It was in one of the last council meeting packets. So.
It's 2, and Dan's got a lot.
Okay. All right, so you're just letting us know that public
Yes,
hearing?
and then
And
also-
obviously it won't go if he doesn't get the bid. They won't have the hearing? Is that how they set it up?
One of our planning,
Well, he owns the lots. He's trying to buy the other 2 lots.
He owns a lot that this triplex is going on already.
that's what I
So it's not
understand.
contingent on property. Oh,
Really?
okay.
Two separate, yes, there's
Okay,
four
so
lots
this is
there.
property he already owns?
Correct.
And you're just doing the hearing on property he already owns?
Correct.
All right, sorry.
And
Thank
because
you.
it's the zoning. And then also Alex Schultz asked if the city might allow empty downtown buildings to be converted into apartments. Currently, in our codes, first floor apartments are not allowed in downtown. Second floor and above are. And the committee told him, or the planning commission told him to come before council and request changes.
If he wants to pursue it? Okay. So the planning commission just listened to it?
Yes.
And didn't rule on it or anything? Okay. All right, well, he's not here tonight, so I guess we don't have to pursue that right now. Right?
Yes.
Okay. The next item is a consent agenda, and I just wanted to ask a question real quick, and I sent it to Debbie, and I didn't have time to look at it when I was flying today. So that Agland, the only change in it was the dollar amounts from the prior contract.
Yes.
And
they bumped it up to a 2-year contract rather than a 1.
Yes.
And so based on these maintenance calls, how much did we spend last year on that?
I should have brought that with, there was some actual repairs last year, so it was like, I want to say 38, oh, I did bring it. Look at that. So last year was $37,800, but we had some repairs too. I didn't have time to break them out.
What was that again, Debbie?
$38,812.
So they had
But there was repairs.
So they did the maintenance and then they found these things that we had to repair.
Right.
So that led to that.
So in 2016, it was $8,100 we spent. And in 15, it was $18,121. From what I can see here from the invoices, it's usually around $5,500 when they come and do their repairs or their service.
And they come twice a year?
Not repairs, but service.
But they come twice a year, is that right? So 5,500
Usually around $5,500
per visit?
Yes.
Okay, and so bumping it up is gonna bump it up to like, what, 7,000 per visit or something like that? Going from 1,700 to 2,100?
Right.
Okay, so it's not substantial, it's not gonna,
And that's locked in for 2 years.
I'm sorry, what?
$619.65 totally, but they bumped it up from before.
Oh, okay. Okay, per visit, and then you have to do based on how many hours and stuff, so.
For 2 years too.
Yeah, so you think, so, was that negotiable, or they just brought it to us that way? Did you negotiate that, or they just said this is what
They brought it to it this way.
And there's no one else that does this service? This is.
We haven't found anybody else that does this service or is willing to do this service.
Okay.
And they're real familiar because they put the plant and stuff in down there and put the pumps in when it was originally built.
Okay. And this cereal malt beverage license, do we always approve those when we issue a new license?
Yes.
That's how we do it?
And then there'll be an annual one at the end of the year.
When we renew everybody?
This is
But
a new
this is
one.
the, but this is the first time, and this is how we do it? Okay. Sorry, I didn't get in town tonight till 6:30, so. So I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, if you guys don't have any other questions, before we approve it in total. Okay, so I would entertain a motion for the entire consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I second.
So did you guys have any other questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0, all right. The next item is the appropriations ordinance, 3674. I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve appropriations ordinance 3674.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Darlene, do you want to point anything out?
Yes. Since there were two payrolls, the payroll amount was $81,585 for two payrolls, plus also benefits, so those would have been bigger items. And then the Fifth and Carolina project would be about $39,000 for the materials and the company that did the boring.
Yeah, because water revenue was up to 72,000, so that was basically that. I would looked at it online, it says we also bought some just backup stuff, water valves and antennas and stuff like that.
Yep.
Out of water revenue?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about the appropriations ordinance? Roll call, please.
Boss?
Yes.
Pipia? Yes. Graham? Yes. Hughes?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Grom?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
7-0.
All right, thank you very much. Austin?
All right, first thing up is the tennis courts, and I'll preface this with, we can use this as discussion time, and you don't have to make a decision, or we could kick it down to the committee. We could make a day of Parks and Rec Committee, looking down at City Park. But Pro Track and Tennis submitted their bid for resurfacing the court, and they also included the sealing up of new cracks or the extension of old cracks. And basically why I'm bringing this resealing portion is because their warranty that they provide can be extended another 5 years if we reseal or resurface the court within that warranty time. And I believe it expires next year. I can't remember the date.
This is year 4. I think I had
We're in the middle of year 4, and I think next year's year 5, but the timing of that, I think it was before the summer hit.
Yeah.
So if we were to do the resurfacing, it'd be in this year.
It'd be this summer?
This summer.
We'd have to go through the winter, I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand why that 26704, where it says to recoat, that's only recoating, that's not or is that,
No,
Because
that's,
everything should still be under warranty of their initial.
the warranty covers the cracks that they covered. It does
Right.
not cover any extension beyond that crack or any new cracks that have formed.
Yeah, you know, when we went and did this 4 years ago, I took pictures of the crack, of the before and after of the courts. And I just, you know, like these, I'd want to make sure that these are the ones they fixed, to make sure we're not, I mean, the reason we're recoding them is to keep the warranty, but if the warranty's of no value, I mean, I was trying to figure out if 26,000 is just to recode. You're saying the 19,000 is new cracks, but look at these cracks pictures of them. So I would love to talk to them about this, because that's why I took pictures. And I can't imagine why, you know, if we look at these and say, these are not extensions, these are the original ones back. Did you look at the holes to see if that armor was in there? Did you walk it with them?
I didn't walk it with them. Dale walked it with them, and they saw that the existing cracks, the cracks that they covered, were still covered, and they didn't find any that were, or at least they didn't say they found some.
Look at these. So that's why I took these pictures, because of the warranty.
Yeah. Have you taken, do you have time to take those pictures and walk that?
Well, I
see?
would want to talk to them about it, because that's what, you know.
Well, but go see if that's actually what.
And this is what they taped up. I purposely took these pictures for warranty purposes. So,
And I mean, that's why I said this is a discussion, not we don't have to make a decision or anything like that. In fact, I'd highly recommend talking more about it.
Yeah. So I guess Parks and Rec, we're gonna go compare these. I don't know who's all in Parks and Rec, but I'm sorry. But I think we need to walk these, and since I did take these pictures and compare them and say, you know, any of these that you did, that's what we got the warranty for, and that's why we're recoding. So I would hate to spend money when they're not utilizing our warranty.
And I threw a number out there that because we got contacted by somebody who puts in tennis courts, and that's what their company does. And they heard somehow that we were having troubles with our court, and I mistakenly thought it was the guy for ProTrack, and the guy came out and looked at the court, and Dale was there, or Dale talked to him, and he's like, and the guy goes, I put in courts, this looks bad. Obviously, he's trying to sell a court. He estimated about $60,000 per court. So
is that pre-stressed concrete?
I don't know the details on that. He threw that number out there.
Yeah, this is all I got done. I pulled out my tennis file. This was from 4 years ago.
This is even when I was recording years ago, they had problems with the tennis court. There's always been problems with the tennis court.
So what happened 4 years ago was we got a bid. We spent, I think, $39,000 for Olson to do an estimate. It was painful, and it came to $1 million to repair the courts.
How much?
$1 million. And the school had always participated 50-50, and they said, because it's on your property, we won't. So in the past, they had always paid 50-50 to repair the court. They paid 50-50 when we went from 3 courts to 6, and they paid 50-50 to repair them. But this time they said, no, they're on your property. So things changed, and so they were unwilling to pay 50% this time. So for us to invest $1 million in tennis courts, that we as a city never have people filling 6 courts. They're primarily used for the school and tennis camp. So anyway, so the $1 million, do you still have this file? You should have a file.
There's probably a file somewhere.
You probably have a file. But the most important thing is these pictures that I kept. So
that's why I brought it up for discussion.
Don't lose them.
I know. those files come in handy.
right.
So, but that number is really low, I mean, compared to the
I
million
just
they gave us.
passed that on.
And actually Olson, I think they estimated just the engineering was $131,000.
The original problem with the tennis courts was when they built the back three, they didn't dig down. They just dumped dirt over the existing dirt and grass and everything that was there. And over the years, it's just kind of slid.
It's a creek bed.
Yeah.
And putting the $1 million courts in would get the water, they were gonna build it so the water diffused to the sides.
Sides, yeah.
So they were gonna put it in the right way, but it was still gonna be $1 million. And I think, we were thinking, well, maybe the city could come up with a half a million, but I don't think $1 million doesn't make sense for the city.
Okay.
All right. So we will.
We'll talk about it.
Parks and Rec will continue on our journey.
Yes.
Put a whole day out there, you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Second item, City Hall windows. I was requested to go back to Cromie's and get their quote for commercial windows. So that's what I got here. He got it to me today. Which would basically look, from what he said, look exactly like we have right here. Maybe a little bit different. He said their commercial windows fit right in. Their estimate was $23,399.38.
So was this bid different than what they gave us the last time?
Yes.
It was a different product?
Different product. The last one was fiberglass inserts.
So did we make an error in how we asked the bid?
Because I know Hometown won't provide commercial windows. I wanted to get local involvement, so I asked them to provide. Initially, and Kevin will admit to this, he thought the initial time he went and asked the company he gets his windows from, that their commercial windows wouldn't work, so that's why he bid how he bid it. He then went back and asked what he calls now the right questions, and they had a different product this time around. So I told them that I wanted commercial windows to go in here to replace these.
That's how the bid was written?
Yeah. So
was it an oral or was it a writing?
It was an oral one, because I brought them all in, and I even brought the other Marysville Glass in as well. They chose not to supply a bid, but I brought the plans out. Everybody had the same plans of the windows, and the requirements were double paned commercial windows that will fit within all these slots. And that was the main point, was the double pane. That was the important part.
To me, the important part that they missed was the commercial windows.
Well, I guess there's a learning curve here that we should always put our bid specs in writing rather than so that everybody bids correctly the first time. I have a problem with this, getting a bid after the other bids were there, even though it's a higher bid than Manco.
He said if he would have bid the commercial windows that he had access to at the time, the reason why he didn't bid those is because the way they were structured would have stretched out the windowsill and would have caused some complications. That's what Kevin said. That's why he bid it the way he did.
How do you guys feel about it?
Well, I feel like there's two issues, and one is like you're saying, which is in the future we need to have like carved in stone. This is what we got to be. If you don't bid this, then don't bid at all.
Yeah, because that's
then
a tough situation.
And then I think, but I mean, I guess maybe fortunately the bid came in the way it did, because it doesn't necessarily impact what we're really looking for here if we move forward in this specific instance with these windows.
Does the Manco bid include because they didn't bid the right number of windows?
The number that I put down was 18,448. That's with the right number of windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was the number of windows, and again, this explains why we have to have it written down, and the size of the windows. Did they change their bid from what they initially presented to this 18,448 or something?
They supplied that in an email, the extra windows that they didn't initially bid. That was in the packet.
Did you say that they divided what the number of windows and then just added that, the amount per window?
Yes.
So it's like they were bidding per window?
Yes. Yeah, that 410 per window is what they, because they said they include labor and all that, because they make the windows, they put them in.
I just want to throw this out that, I go to these convention and tourism meetings, and they talk a lot about buying locally. They talk about our realtors struggling, and it's hard for me not, and they also talk about when we spend money in the city, it turns over 7 times over. And here as a city, we have 2 lumber yards, and to use an outside, I know it's a lower bid, but I'm just saying, if we're telling all our residents to shop local and the city doesn't.
I agree. You're going to be hard pressed to find somebody more determined to shop local than I am. We really try in our household. And I'm a big supporter of the 10% rule, or, and even if you were to say 20%, on the other hand, this is like 26%. I mean, that's getting kind of far out there. And for what it's worth, I did a little, looking around at Manco. I mean, not that Manhattan's local, obviously, but they have contributed to local projects. They've donated, I know they donated glass to the depot for the window replacement project that's going on. They donated the glass for all the windows. The panes of glass. The depot group bought the frames and had them made so that they are correct to the original. But so in other words, they must consider this somewhat local to them to be, I know they contribute to other projects in other communities as well. So, to their credit. And honestly, that bid's a little lower than I might have expected in general. I didn't think we'd see a bid under 20,000 for these windows.
Yeah.
And the other interesting point is that, we bid our police cars local only.
That's a good point.
And I don't know. It's up to you guys. I just hope there's no tie. There won't be a tie because there's 7. Yes.
One thing maybe you take into consideration, local is a good thing when you need maintenance when you're buying something. Once we get those windows in, there's no maintenance.
That's true.
That's true.
If we got a real good deal on them, if the local people can't get a little bit closer, why, maybe that's where you got to shop. It's not for the convenience of repair. The windows should never need repair.
Right.
So it's something to think about too.
And if they did have some warranty issue, Manco's been around a pretty long time, so. And it's not some, no offense to anybody's Texas fan, it's not some company from Texas that's going to swoop into town and throw in windows and disappear again. It's an actual established company. And I mean, you're right, we shouldn't need maintenance on them.
And we are stewards of the taxpayers' money, so the best deal that we can get, even though it's not local.
We've got to strike a balance.
We've got to strike a balance somewhere in the process, so. Madam Mayor, I move that we make the low bid from Manco bid of $18,448.
Second.
Any further discussion? I just want to state that I think that we do a disservice to our realtors when we don't shop local when we can. When they have a service they can provide for us, if it's something they can't provide, I definitely understand going outside the city, but that's all I can say. Is there any further discussion? So we have a motion to accept the Manco bid. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-3. What had you been, Jason?
Aye.
So it's 4-3? Okay. Terry, you bid yes.
Yes, Manco.
Yes? Yes. Okay, just want to make sure. All right, moving along.
Next in line is we had the bid opening for North Street Waterline Phase 2. And we had a few bidders. We had, let's see. We had Larson Construction, Deep Creek Construction, and Carlson Utility bid for this project. And this is from 7th to 12th Street, as well as there's some north and south movement on this project as well. The lowest bid came from Larson Construction at $294,180. The engineer estimated this project at $325,871. And I didn't do the math on what the difference is, but it was 10% less for the low bid compared to the engineering estimates. So there was a recommendation from Tony Deaver as far as to go with the low bid. He checked their bid to make sure it was good, and he recommended we go forward if we're going to do this project with Larson Construction.
Can I ask, I know in the budget we had $200,000. When did we expand that to 325? Just, I'm trying to remember this.
Well, we didn't expand a dollar figure. We expanded because of the intertwining of all the north-south water lines.
Did we talk about that as a council? Did we talk about that north-south?
When he came and presented the engineering specs.
That's when we decided to go ahead?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I didn't have anything with me on the airplane, so.
Mayor?
Yes.
I move that we accept the low bid from Larson Construction of $294,180 for the water line project on North Street from 7th to 12th Street.
And where do you want it funded from?
Water sewer.
The water revenue fund?
Water revenue, not
Do you want
waters.
just the 200,000 since that's what we budgeted, but take the rest out of the reserve?
Yes.
Because we have, I think, 672,000 or something like that in reserve. We have the number.
200,000 out of water revenue.
And the rest out of the water utility reserve? Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
You look puzzled.
Oh, I'm waiting for discussion.
Oh, discussion.
I personally would rather see us take it all out of water revenue and not dip into the reserve in this instance. But that's just my 2 cents.
Well, I think we have 672,000 here. Hold on. $709,000 in there. And the water revenue fund, I guess when we take more than we budgeted out of that for a specific line item, it would skew it on that one line item.
Right.
And compare, we had kind of budgeted for 5 years, we'd do 200,000. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it
mixed
would kind of
feelings
mess
about
with
doing
it.
that.
I'd like seeing
don't have my budget
the
book
reserve
with me.
fund grow.
Okay, $709,000.
But it's never enough
But,
when you have a project.
do you have your budget book?
I don't have mine.
No,
Okay.
I left mine home.
Okay. And so that's your comment?
That's my comment.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
discussion.
Yes.
They are aware there is rock between 7th and 8th. I do not see anything in this bid for rock excavation.
Between
7th and 8th
On North Street.
on North Street.
Where it drops off.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, there probably is a rock ledge.
There's a ledge.
There's a rock ledge in there. There is no rock excavation in here. They're gonna come back with the
Well,
change
We've
order.
had this happen
We had that
before.
change order at the water tower.
Yeah,
Yep.
Do you remember how much that was?
a lot.
I'm just, I've been around a while. I know where things kind of.
Is Tony here? The meeting it
No.
doesn't come.
Rob
Is-
Rob left too.
Oh, Rob was here too?
Yeah.
You want to call him and ask him to come back?
I don't have Rob's number.
Okay. I was just, did any of them, the bid specs didn't talk about rock? Is that what it is? Are we required?
I don't know if we're required or not.
No. That's their bid. They
I know
should've
it's
done
their
that
bid.
for themselves.
Well, I'm
If
just
they
telling you,
did,
that
there's-
rock ledge runs through there,
Well,
depending on how deep
I'm
they
sure
go.
they know that.
Wouldn't that affect any company, though?
It should have. Because nobody bid, there's no bid on there for rock excavation. Huh?
Oh, sure. The one up here that ran into the rock, and then we did the change order, some of it, most of it they made.
Yeah.
It was Larson?
It was Larson.
I think it was. So Larson knows that the rock
He
runs.
knows, this figure's good. I mean,
Well,
they've got that considered in there.
Well, why?
I hope they do, because I don't want them to come back with a change order.
Okay, why don't we take a 5-minute recess? Austin can call Rob just to make sure that it's all considered. Okay? Can we take a 5-minute recess?
Usually not Rob's thing.
Madam Mayor, I move that we take a 5-minute recess for a phone call.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that gets
Now that I went to the bathroom.
Okay, just order. After our recess, Austin has some answers. He has no answers.
No answers yet. I sent it to a text to the right guy. I might have answers here in a little bit.
Do you want to skip to number 4 and come back to
That's
number 3?
fine with me.
Okay.
All right, number 4, street bid requests and plans.
Withdraw the motions, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, sorry.
Can we have withdraw those motions?
Is that what we need to do?
I think we should.
Since we're moving it.
Can we table the motion?
I don't know.
What do you say we need
I
to do?
think withdraw for now, and then.
Did you make the motion? Would you
Yes,
withdraw at
Diane
this
and
point?
withdraw the
And Jason
motion
was a
until we
second?
get
You
the
withdraw your
call.
second? Okay. All right, we'll move to number 4 now until Tony gets back with
Okay.
us.
Number 4, street bid requests and plans. The CES, Tony, drew up some plans for 20th Street, and those are included. I drew up the bid documents for the rest, or for the whole, these 3 projects for this year. So the projects include Carolina from 3rd to 4th and 4th to 5th. Project number 2 is 20th Street, North Street to Airport Road by Landalls. And then project 3 is 20th Street, US 36 to Carolina. And the engineering plans are available for project number 3. So what I'm looking for is basically approving both going forward with this bid and these plan documents, so we can send them out for bid.
So on 20th Street, they're not going to rip up what we put in.
What do you mean?
What the city put in like 2 years ago?
Right up to the edge of the new,
Where the geometric improvement ended, it was where the
Oh, I'm
project.
talking about airport. I'm talking about.
Oh, no.
They're not
No,
ripping it.
that does not include, they're gonna
Work
just
around
do
that.
the.
are they gonna take out I call it just that north quarter of that intersection where that concrete just broke out?
Really bad,
It's
yeah.
really bad right there.
The north corner.
Which,
On the 20th Street intersection, on
20th
20th
what?
and North.
Okay.
20th and North, okay.
It's good, then then it's all cracked up, and then it goes into
kinda like
the
an
asphalt.
I think there was a consideration, yes. I think that's how we measured it the last time we went out to bid.
Into the intersection of
into the
20th and
Just,
North.
yeah, make sure you get all that stuff that's cracked and crumbled to the
Yes.
I just wanted to make
quarter
sure
of
we
that
weren't
intersection.
gonna pull out what our street guys did the other year.
Well,
So
No, that's still.
It should
that's
be,
still good,
yeah, it's south of that, yeah.
That's not included in the measurements, no.
That
okay.
little bit is not?
The ones where we already did it is
The
not.
city
Okay,
crew put
yeah.
in.
But
It's
that
not
north little
included.
piece
I
is.
believe that's included in the plans,
Okay.
or in the description, yeah.
You guys have any other discussions for Austin about this bid?
There's no completion date? Do we need that in there?
They're October 31st, for all projects, is at the beginning of the.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Winning
sorry.
bidders?
Winning bidders can win one or all bids, but with the stipulation that no matter how many projects they win, they have to be done by October 31st.
Okay.
And then, as you can see,
Are
just
they gonna bid each one independently?
Yes.
Do we put that down?
yes, I said the winning bidders
They're gonna
are
be
based
project
on the
one.
lowest.
Per project?
Per project, yes.
That says that in there?
Yes. Let's see.
Now, are you just taking the bad curb out in your...
The last one sentence of the winning bidders.
Contractors will be selected based on the lowest bid per project. Okay.
Yep.
I see
sorry.
on the, like, scope 1 here, project 1 Carolina 3rd to 4th. Street replacement is 293 feet by 26 by 8 inches. But then curb replacement, you have just 293 feet of curb.
There's,
The other side's been
There's some that have, yeah.
So are we marking out what needs to be saved and not saved?
We'll work with the contractors on that.
Okay.
Yes. And another thing to point out, so we get it out in the open, as far as the 20th Street by Hardee's and Pony Express, it's lined up to do it in phases, so we're not blocking off the complete entrance to Pony Express Auto. And that is going to cost a little bit more money, but it's worth it to keep that property open to the public.
Yeah, we can't do that. All right.
So are we going to be able to still have trucks go there too, out of Casey's?
That's an issue. We're gonna have to tell them to go the wrong way.
They will?
They will have to.
They will have to.
Without a stoplight then?
Yes, without a stoplight. And with the trouble, I mean, they had enough trouble.
Traffic coming in off the highway too, that's gonna be tough.
Yes.
It will be.
Yeah.
So that 20th Street will have no truck traffic during this. They'll be like one lane, kind of like how they did the geometric improvement.
If they do it like it shows, and they could possibly, if whatever truck wanted to go out of Casey's, go while it's not blocked on 20th and go north, they would be able to do that if that's the route they wanted to take. You already got trucks going right by there.
So you're saying they could take the north
path
go north and go 11th Road?
Yeah, and go that way. And go that way. That is an option. That's more than likely they're going to take a left and take another left down to.
Well, if they're heading west, they'd probably go that way. But if they're heading east, they could go North Street.
Yep.
We could put signs east, 36 that way. Yeah, that way you cut down half the traffic.
Right. If they follow.
They probably ought to plan for extra stop signs there at 18th, because when I was in the bank, periodically semis took out the stop sign.
Yep.
Didn't even stop.
Yep. And well.
Because the turn radius.
After they took it out.
Turn radius, yeah.
Yep. No, that's one of the issues we can't avoid, because Tony actually pointed that out beforehand.
I see you got the radius widened out on it too. They're coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. we take out that's a stand-up curb right there. We're going to take that out and move it back. That's going to, because you could go out there right now and look at the tire tracks that just follow that curb. So we're going to make it easier right there. That's the one issue is the people coming, the semis coming out of Casey's. We can't avoid that no matter how we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there a motion to proceed with this project with the bid as presented?
Move to approve the street replacement projects for Carolina 3rd to 5th, 20th Street from North Street to Airport Road, and 20th Street from Highway 36 to just past Carolina. Correct?
Yep. Is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. All right.
Next one is our ADA ramp project, and I did pretty much the same thing here. Just listed out the locations of each ramp corner, and had them for their review. Also attached are the plans for the ADA ramp project of all 17 locations. This project also is to be finished no later than October 31st, 2018. And
Good, when we talked about this, when we, on these corners, sometimes you're doing ADA on one and not the other, and sometimes you're doing both. Is there a reason why we didn't want to do both and get it done?
Some of them already had some ramps.
All these that we're not doing already have ADA ramps on the other corner?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So the whole corner will be ADA compliant?
Right.
When you finish this project?
Right.
Okay.
And that was, it was, the whole idea was...
And some of those areas too, we couldn't put an ADA ramp in there that would successfully meet the proper ADA requirement because the hill was going up too steep or something.
Yeah.
So that might have been another reason that we didn't do that corner.
Right. And ADA, well, I don't say my guesses on it, but so yeah, we put it along the pathway that we came to last year, and then that's where we came up with these spots. And then on another note, today I submitted a grant application for that this project would qualify for.
With KDOT?
Not with KDOT.
Who's it with?
With AARP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They one of their portions of the grant was mobility and walkability and all that stuff. So
can we apply for that at the Kester House?
no. You mean for the
cheerleaders?
No, because they said not for profit. So you can't be a for-profit entity, which that would be what that is.
Okay, just curious. I was hopeful. Well, how'd you find that?
LinkedIn, on social media.
Awesome.
Yep.
Good job. Okay, so you want a motion to approve?
ADA ramp projects.
Okay.
Move to approve the ADA ramp project list for 2018.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0, all right.
Both of these bids will be opened June 6th at 2 p.m., just for everybody's reference. Okay, so next one is the squirrel design put together by Chloe Cudney. She tried to stay true to at least what I gathered as most of the council's request was mostly black squirrel. And actually, she kind of surprised me with this design because it didn't exactly match all the criteria that were put out there, but it matched, it definitely, I think, matches the city of Marysville and all it encompasses. At least that's what I see. And I'm bringing this to see if we can get a consensus to move forward with this design. So we can have this squirrel put outside. And to tell you the truth, this is probably something I would be, city staff has already said they'd be happy to have this right out front, so.
So she can put a little city hall somewhere out here in front?
She hasn't responded to my email, but I don't see why she wouldn't.
Can't just stick a building there?
Yeah, and put a little sign that says City Hall on it.
Or put a little building there?
I wondered too about the park, the playground part, something to maybe say that's what it is. I just thought it was a castle.
The wood castle, yeah.
It's got a context. It's like, there's a castle? We have a castle here?
I think there's there's signage around that, and we might be able to incorporate that. So, no, that's definitely
I noticed where it says about the words on the acorn. I'd like it to say constituents.
Somebody brought their punch.
I don't know how to follow that up. Kind of like Ian's comment, I don't know how to follow that up.
Mine would be neat.
I don't think I'd agree with that. Also, Chloe is an excellent artist. I would like to see something a lot more colorful than this.
Well, we had talked about it that one time, and the council had talked about just
Some were very adamant about black.
the black.
Not me.
I'm sorry.
I think that was Bill Biesinger too. But but there's different shades of gray. It's kind of cute.
Is there any way to put in, like, I don't know, by the castle to incorporate it, look like a swing set or a slide?
Yeah, definitely.
Just near the castle area that is like a red or a blue, or to make it a little more colorful and to tie it into the castle that it is a park?
Yeah, I could say City Park and add some swings in front of it or something.
Yes.
And if you decided not to go with the constituents on the acorn, just put it out there. You put something like founded, or something, something kind of a nice note on there.
City founding, yeah.
Yeah.
Founded in the year that was
Yeah.
founded. I like that. Okay.
Well, for all you people who wanted black, the tail is shown in gray, not black.
Well, it's a
She said
Shades of gray and black here.
I think that's good. I think if you don't do anything at all and it
It'll be
doesn't have
kind of
much
boring.
definition.
Yeah, and the red and black one at Marysville High is one of my favorite ones with the little
It's got a little
So if she puts some definition in the fluffiness. I was kind of happy with it. Darlene, are you the only one
I
that's
must
not?
be boring, but yeah, I think the one by the high school is my favorite
It's
one.
simple.
I like
Yeah.
Sudsy though too.
Yeah.
Sudsy's
Sudsy's kind of cute too up there on the hill.
So if we add swings and a little label that says that's a city park, and we add a city hall kind of in the front, and add founded in, and put a date of the city was founded.
Yes.
And to make sure that the fluffy tail has a lot of definition. Will that be better for you, Darlene? Okay.
Darlene, what would you like to see?
Of course, I would always go colorful. Like my favorite is by the depot.
Oh, choo-choo?
Choo-choo.
But I'm just one vote.
You're one vote.
I'm one vote. And I'm not a professional artist. Well, except I did take 3 paintings to the fair one year, and I got 3 blue ribbons and money.
And money.
Hey,
There you go,
wonder-
you're professional.
I wonder if she could make that road red brick.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be very
help.
cool.
That adds some color, wouldn't it, Darlene?
No, but it helped.
That's a good
Red brick,
idea.
red brick road.
What if it said Darlene in the bricks?
No.
With little fire things, they could make that.
That's going to be pretty
That'll be
colorful.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
gray.
red. What about fire truck or a police car?
A police car.
What if it was a Ford, Darlene?
No sponsorship here.
So the police.
Keep it coming.
Is the police- So is that going to be
Want some more pork
silver?
barrel.
Is a badge silver? Is a police
The badge is actually gold.
Gold.
gold? Okay.
Yeah.
So the fire will be red,
Red, yeah.
and we're adding colorful swings.
Yes.
They
And a
gonna have
red
all.
brick
They gonna
road.
put all the departments on
And-
this side,
And the city hall will be what color?
where the police and fire. They're gonna put all the departments on that side.
On the,
No, the departments are represented within the, like, the water was the
Oh, the
water
water department's
tower.
larger. Okay.
The
Yeah.
park was the
Okay.
city, the park.
The cemetery.
yeah, that was the idea. Parks, the main one's water, because there's water, sewer, cemetery, parks, and I go, you could probably not do cemetery. And parks would
That'd
be
be
just
okay.
fine with it.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could have some of the, you could add some berries in some of these trees.
Would help a little bit.
Add a little fruit.
Little pink or red, white. Too much, thank you.
You don't have a vote in.
And it could be just a couple trees.
A couple trees.
Just,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
just
I
a couple
agree.
trees. You could put berries in. You don't have to put berries in all of them.
Okay.
A few berries.
Just do it in one
That's-
tree and Darlene will know it's hers.
A few berries.
Spell out
A
dark.
few berries. That's all we put.
We're good to move.
And somebody will say, what is that? Did she like splatter some paint or what?
So at this point in time, we will say, with these changes, we're done, and we give it to Chloe to fix it?
Yes.
Will we see another one?
I don't know how they did it last year. I think we won't see another one of these, I don't think.
Okay.
We'll see it on parade.
I think you'll meet with her a few times while it's going on, or you have the ability to go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, our Parks and Rec Committee can check it out.
While they're out and about.
Broad shoulders. Oh, we
Make a
lucky.
day.
But, no, I mean, you think that, I mean, none of those are significant changes, so.
Nothing too huge. I think they're relatively. It'll be really nice.
Okay. All right, we'll have red brick.
Yes.
Red brick buildings.
Red brick.
There you go.
Orangey red brick.
Orangey red.
No, not orange.
First for the street.
There we go.
You said colorful. You didn't specify which color.
I thought it was pretty cute. I thought she did a good job.
Okay.
So we're, with those changes, we're okay? Everybody's okay with those changes?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Next one is financials and project costs. This month we had quite a few increases in expenditures, but one of the main reasons, especially for the general fund, was our insurance. We paid insurance last year in May. Now we paid it in April this year.
And that was 128,000, right? And then, or maybe it dropped down to 101.
It was 101.
And then I just thought we got that $20,000.
$20,000 back. But the insurance actually hit general fund. As I was looking at it, it was about $70,000 to the general fund, because it all came out of, yeah. So that's where the 105 increase from last year came from. And then we also purchased the mower, the aerator. There's one other thing, but so you add those things up, you hit $100,000. So you really didn't increase out of the ordinary. We had some big purchases. Sort of the same thing. Also, we had 3 payrolls in the month of April, so that increased across the board. And then some projects in water, and it just, nothing out of the ordinary happened. It just seemed to all happen in 1 month. So let me read if I have it.
I was just going to say, we probably need to put that, those concrete streets on this master project.
Yes, I can do that.
Because ADA is already on the end. Okay.
Go back up here. Okay, sorry about this. All right. The insurance, the HVAC came out. That's the third one. That affected all water, sewer, and general, $8,000 each. And then we paid the engineering for the water line also. So that increased as well. Are there any questions on the financials?
I just wanted to get an update on the dam.
Okay.
Did you?
If there were no questions on the financials, I can do
I
that.
thought you were done.
Yeah, okay.
Any questions on the financials?
Yeah. The dam broke at about 4:35 o'clock Friday morning. According to the Army Corps of Engineers. So they found it on their sensor, which they were planning on coming up and checking their sensor because they thought it was a mistake, and then they get a call from Toad Schwinneman about the dam breaking, and so that makes sense because it rose and then it fell drastically.
Did the court come out?
They haven't came and talked to me, and I'm kind of surprised they've been.
They talked to Toad?
They talked to Toad and said they were going to come out and look at it, and then the newer. I don't know who Toad called, so I can't. I need to probably make sure, but they were supposed to come out and come to City Hall and talk to me about it, but they never did.
So there's no update on it? Really?
No, but so our main concern was the rural water district. A story came out. We notified them as soon as the dam broke. A story came out following the dam break from KRWA saying that the rural.
We were the lead story.
Yeah, we were the lead story on that. But the first thing they said was the rural water district already planned for this, and we're ready to go. So that was off the top. The next one was whether the Corps was going to make us do something about this, whether it be clean up the concrete or if there was any liability for us to put the dam back. From everybody I've talked to, I haven't found one yet. They're not saying there isn't a liability for us to put it back, but there's been other dams that broke that they haven't put back. And seeing as that nobody's been in a rush to come up here and tell us to fix it, I haven't seen move forward yet. So far, the update I do have is we put signs out there illustrating that, well, they specifically say government property, danger, keep out.
Okay.
And we had those signs actually on hand, just a conglomeration of signs. Put it at the beginning of the pathway down there, and then again at the powerhouse itself. There's also a sign where they replaced the piece of door that was missing. They put a keep out sign on there as well. There's nothing we can do to keep people from climbing on anything except if we, because they have an embankment they can walk down. They can climb over the rails. They can do all this other stuff. But for the most part, I think we have at least our side a little bit covered on that portion. We put chains across the front of the stairway as well.
Did we check with our Jen from a liability standpoint if we did anything? Do we ever do that to see if we did it adequately from a liability standpoint?
I can.
You just check with her and tell her what we did, just see how she feels. Is that all?
That's it.
Alrighty. City Clerk.
I just want to say thank you to RSVP for our award. The City of Marysville was recognized as Volunteer Site of the Year, so thank you to RSVP for all of their work in volunteering to fold our newsletters. That saves us a lot of time in here, so we appreciate them.
And then your governing handbook?
I do have the governing body handbooks for whoever didn't get those.
Okay. So you can see Marysville on your front desk, on your desk.
No, I did not.
When I went to training, they had said something about we were supposed to update substantial interest every April, and Debbie contacted Sonia. You know the substantial interest thing about what you own, and so conflict of interest kind of coverage thing. And they actually noted that in April we're supposed to update it every year. So I came home and asked Debbie, I said, we've never updated it other than when we filed for election. And Sonia told her.
Yeah, Sonia said that it's the league's suggestion to do it in April, but she feels it's better to go with the election. And the elections used to be in April, so she thinks, well, I think maybe that's why the league's carrying it over. But unless there's something major in your life that's changed, then she didn't see need for it.
Yeah, so if you just heads up, if you ever have a change in substantial interest in your company, we might bid out or something to go ahead and do that update at the Marshall County Courthouse. And then you guys are working on CBK, and both the court and water sewer.
We've submitted, and they give us reports when the checks come in. So as we get checks, then they'll have a report on everything. And we can go out and do reports, but we just need to sit down and do it.
So in a month or two, we'll get a report to show how it's progressing? Okay.
Ruth submitted a handful, she said maybe 8 to 10. I think Sammy's done 4 or 5 maybe so far.
We want all those old court ones. So we wanted that number higher for $100,000 for the court side. Okay, anything else?
Not tonight.
All right, we will move on to standing committees. Anything got the street?
Or anything on the street sweeper yet?
It comes tomorrow. Yeah, they'll
It needs to
switch
run
out.
all the time.
They will. Well, we're not going to kill this one. I mean,
There's still leaves in the street and the curbs yet from last year.
they're going to come mid-morning tomorrow, I think. Swap out the sweepers. They'll drop that one off, pick that one up, and then they'll actually have a national rep train our guys.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yes.
When are they going to train them?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I asked them, can we call and get refreshers and all that? And they said anytime. So cool.
Nice.
I was walking in downtown Charlotte, and their streets were dirtier than ours. So just for the record, and their sidewalks. I was kind of looking around going, why don't you clean your sidewalks? But they want a lot of people downtown. It's a very young city. But I was like, our sidewalks are cleaner in Marysville.
Like I say, our streets are dirty.
Not compared to these downtown streets.
Compared to how they've looked in the past, our streets are.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, on 9th Street by the cliffs, since it started raining, there's more rock that's tumbling out onto the street, by the cliffs right up here.
Where you take the stairs? Is that where you do? Where you take the stairs up here?
Well,
over in Carolina.
Over here.
Yeah.
Between Carolina and Alston.
The old limestone stuff? That the limestone's falling off?
The cliffs, yes.
Okay.
The natural limestone, not the stairs limestone.
No,
it's right there.
You know, they were talking that we could, since it was a WPA project, that we should be able
to get a grant.
Yeah, so we probably need to look into that.
Yeah, I think I had somebody who was working on the WPA. Somebody approached me about that, and they said they were working on something else, and they'd come back for us. I have to find those people again.
So.
The 14th Street stoplight, were you still working on?
Yeah,
for that?
we scheduled a street committee, or scheduling a street committee to talk about that. These sensors have been frayed on the north-south.
9 o'clock Thursday.
9 o'clock Thursday.
They have been frayed.
I don't know if you've
What does
noticed
that
that stoplight's running on a cycle now instead of on sensors. And it's
So-
miserable in the morning
So the
sometimes.
sensor is frayed, the electrical on the sensor is frayed?
Yeah, you can go out and look in the concrete pad on 14th Street, and you can see the wires.
It's the pad part?
Yeah.
It's not the eye?
No, there's no eye. It's the old-fashioned
It's the pad.
magnetic.
So what do we need to do?
That's what we got a few options. We could either repair. Let's see. We could either put new sensors back in 14th in those pads, and just have it where somebody pulls up, it'll trip it, let those people go, and then just remain constant on the highway. Or we could do always on those in-ground sensors, or we can do the same thing north-south with the cameras, or do them all.
Like 20th Street is.
Yeah, like 20th Street is.
I thought we decided that was $50,000 for that eye.
No, I thought for the eye is 36 for an intersection, but these people, I think they provided the camera rather than the radar, and it's 24,000. For all ways.
It's something worth considering maybe with the loop, because the
14,000.
maintenance in theory should be less.
Yeah.
Why would you need them on all ways if you just had them on the north-south?
That's what we're going to talk. That's what we're going to talk about. He submitted all options, so that's why we're doing a street committee.
I'm not on the committee.
Speaking of a street committee, I don't think we should have committee meetings before council meetings. So can you not do that again, Debbie? We had that one meeting at 6:15, and I was like, that's a
That's when
horrible.
it's easy for some to meet.
If it's the only time we can meet, though.
But, okay. I don't think,
It's not easy for us people who work 3 jobs, Mayor.
that is my very least thing, because we're here at council meetings to stay focused, it's hard. So,
I'd better not meeting at all. Can we grant that?
yes, but
Yes,
try to
okay.
make up.
The other thing I had was, I don't know, I don't think our maintenance on Center Street or US 36, west of the viaduct, so west of the river, we have no maintenance responsibilities on that road. Can we say anything perhaps to the state about doing some repairs across from the Thunderbird along there? You really notice it on a bike or on foot, but you'll notice it in a car if you're not holding on to your steering wheel. It's getting very badly dished and broke up, and they threw some cold mix in it like it's gonna fix it.
outside the
It's
bridge.
inside city limits.
But the starting at the bridge is
our part.
Is their part.
Connecting links start at the viaduct?
Right, so right here,
Didn't
you
they-
can see the seam right there.
Did they, because
This area right,
they were planning on, I thought they were going to finish out that project.
this area here, oh yeah, they didn't do this section at all, and this right through here on that on the westbound north lane is extremely rough. I've seen people, do these kinds of maneuvers. It's broken up, and it seems like they aren't really fixing it. They're just throwing some cold mix down. So I don't know if there's any. Since it's in city limits, it seems like something we can pay attention to.
We could call them, but we don't want to take responsibility.
No. I just want to, maybe
Bring it to their attention.
bring it to their attention.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes. What did you find out on the seam in front of United Bank and Trust up there?
Haven't found anything else out.
It's getting worse.
I'm trying. It's getting worse. It is getting
There's
worse.
chunks coming out of it now.
I need to figure.
This stuff is only 2 years old? Is that the geometric improvement?
Yeah.
It looks like it's settling, and I don't know if, is that where?
Yeah, it's like
That's what
it's like there was a
everybody
rut.
Is
I
that
mean,
where
it's
the
in like a
drainage
line.
for the water?
No, because
No,
drainage is on the back
That's
side
where
of
they
the
put the new, what should be new concrete under there. Because I saw where they expanded the road. That should be concrete under there.
So did you go look at it?
I've looked. Yes, I've driven over. I've looked at it.
What was the name of those brothers that did that?
Vance Brothers.
I don't think it was.
The worst section's in front of the
Kansas.
bank branch, but then west in that same line, there's another
spot starting.
So it's obvious there's a strip all the way through there.
Didn't it start with an A?
Amino Brothers.
Amino Brothers. There we
That's
go.
who it was.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to call them and tell them to come look at it.
Okay. Well, I've asked if we could do anything about it as far as going back on the project, and I don't know. At least
Well, this should last more than 2 years.
it should. It should.
It's pork.
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think you call Amino Brothers. Okay. Water, wastewater?
I have something on stormwater. I've had 2 people come to me this week, and someone had told them that the council is going to put fees or tax on businesses for stormwater. Okay. The mayor appointed a stormwater ad hoc committee, and on it is Kevin Cromie, myself, the mayor, Karen Hughes, and Gina is also on it. We have met one time, and we just discussed stormwater. We threw out some things like possibly lowering the water bill, and then, not just on business, but also on residents, put some kind of a fee so that we can build up a storm water fund for emergencies.
Yeah, well, we met and we talked about changing our stormwater ordinance. And then we also talked about, preliminary discussions.
But we've only met once. We've just had discussions. Debbie is doing research for us on comparable cities, on what they are putting in place, because a lot of cities are now addressing the stormwater issues because, well, one thing that brought it on is the huge complex now at the high school, and that's probably going to create some stormwater issues.
Yeah, so we were
But
gonna
anyway,
rewrite.
nothing's been decided, and we didn't talk about just businesses, we talked about businesses and residents, and look at maybe 2019 if we, propose something, but we will bring it to council, of course.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, you had that in there that you were, you talked to a representative from Westwood, Kansas, in your notes here when you sent
Yes.
them out. And I did kind of a comparison, and it wasn't apples to apples, because it's really more of a suburb of Overland Park and part of the Kansas City metro area, if that's what you're researching. Their area is area is 0.415 square miles. Single person average income there is $87,136. The household income there is $113,540. The per capita is $95,650.
Well,
hang on. Houses and condos are 226,736. Here in Marysville, our population is 3,295. The single person on the average, their income is 28,803. Household is 43,292. The medium house cost here is 100,844. In our area is 4.62 square miles. If we're going to go ahead and you guys want to really explore this, we need, and that was just the first, you said you would just talk to them and you were going to compare.
Well, I went to a league meeting.
Oh, I realize that.
And he talked about it, so I said, can you send your rates so I can see how your rate structure?
Well,
that's a starting point.
Take it into consideration and I understand you were just talking to somebody at league. Just make sure they're in the same situation in a rural area if we're going to do apples to apples on this.
I understand that. I mean,
all right.
And I haven't even, all I wanted to see how they structured it. That's
okay. All right.
And Debbie's is doing research for us on comparable cities. Which would be 3,000 population cities.
Okay.
Or thereabout. Okay.
Okay.
So the main point is we shouldn't start throwing things out to our constituents that are really at the very preliminary stage of discussion, because people hear some kind of rate increase and they say, what are you doing? Instead of saying, this is really preliminary. And every time we talked about it, the point was, let's see if we can reduce our water rate to offset the stormwater. So we were hoping to make it so it'd have minimal impact. But again, it's the beginning stages, so. Anything else on water, wastewater? Parks and Rec. The heaters broke at the pool?
Fixed.
Oh, is it open?
Open Wednesday. They're letting it heat the water up. It'll open for Wednesday morning swim.
Oh, that'll make a lot of people.
It wasn't the heater itself. It was the gas meter that was holding it up.
Okay, good job.
Question for you on the pool. Does it have to stay at whatever degree it is all year round?
You mean all summer?
All summer round?
No,
we run that heater year round on that.
It stays. It's
season round. You mean
season round?
Season round. But
when it hits a certain temperature, it's off. For most of the summer, once it hits that temperature, it's not running anymore.
Because when I was a kid and went in there, that pool was refreshing. Now as an adult, I go in there, that pool is actually hot.
It was hot in the afternoon.
It is. It's warm. Yeah. It's not refreshing like it used to be years ago.
Maybe in the sunny afternoon.
I mean, seriously.
70, we can bump it down, because I always thought put it at 75 instead of 78. I think is what it was.
We can do that when it warms up.
Yeah, after we get in July and August.
June, like mid-June or something.
Turn it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite as warm as it would be now.
Okay, so noted. I wanted to mention about the Jolly Jogathon that is going to be in 3 weeks, and Cleve Wallstron's been doing this for 40 years. The city, and he brings in hundreds of people. Have you ever gone down there? It's packed, and he's been doing it all this time. So this is his 40th year. The city is involved in that. We buy the medals and we do the printing. And the what?
Pay the officials.
And we pay the officials. So the city is involved, but we get all the revenues. I think they just has a free will donation.
We don't make any revenue. It's usually, it doesn't break even, it's just something for the community.
Community service, yeah.
Okay.
Usually it costs us.
But the point is, when I went down there 3 years ago, I was shocked. We had hundreds of people from all over that come to this event. It's a huge convention and tourism. I'm surprised Wayne doesn't, and convention and tourism doesn't get more involved with that Jolly Jogathon.
I don't think he's ever asked.
Been asked
That's
anymore?
typically what happens is somebody asks for their help and, I mean, he gets all the help he needs from our office.
Yeah, but 40 years. Anyway, so I think they were talking about maybe doing a plaque. What do you think we as a city should do for him running this for 40 years? Are you guys, I'm not very creative here.
Well, I think maybe we should all participate. Oh, no?
I could do standing long jump maybe. It doesn't matter how far you
Standing
go.
long jump. Event categories.
Yeah, it is an event. Come on. I'm not going to jog around the track, I don't think. But I think that, are you guys okay with getting at least a plaque of recognition for him for the 40 years?
Yeah.
And if any of you guys come up with something that you think we should do in addition to that, that he does it at the high school, so there's nothing that we could put on the facility to honor him. But if you come up with something, other idea, or maybe we should get convention and tourism involved with it, Austin. See if they're creative types. I know it's only 3 weeks away, but
They might be able to help.
okay. So will you ask them if they have an idea? Michelle? Ask Michelle? And the last thing I wanted to say is I was at Charlotte for the last week, and they are very into quality of life there. It's a very young population there. But it made me think about these FEMA lots. And I'm thinking we should make an exercise course. Now you're laughing, but we can't build on them. We can't build on them. So they have those courses where you go do and you do so many push-ups, and then you go do and you do another one at all these stations, and it'd get people in that area of town. Jason, you're laughing.
It's Jason's ward. He's listening.
It's just a thought, but we can't build on those. We can't sell them.
Aren't there, 17?
Or 21, I don't know.
Okay, we could have an 18-hole disc golf.
No, because it's around cities, but you can.
Okay.
You could do a walk, running exercise trail in that area and make a loop, and maybe have it start from 7th Street and have some kind of walking exercise route down there. It's shaded, there's trees there. I think it would actually help the area and a quality of life thing, and we might put a station at your park, Terry. Well, we could go by your park. Anyway, it's just a very much beginning stage, but if you want me to kind of look at, I had Debbie send me a list of the FEMA lots to kind of say, now what could we do to make a course down there? Okay, do you want me to even pursue this? I think it's a good idea. You're not saying anything.
No, I like it. I like the idea.
There's one in Los Gatos, where we used to live.
I think it's a way to utilize our FEMA lots and to get people down in that area, and I think it'd bring more traffic.
Because all we're doing now is mowing them.
All we do is mow them, and I think anything that
Mow 'em,
you,
spray the weeds.
if we can use them, you want me to kind of see what to go do next?
Okay.
Parks and Rec Committee, you're gonna help me on this? Parks and Rec? Anyway. I just thought it was a way, when I saw all the people that were walking on sidewalks there, and I thought this is a way we already have sidewalks, we wouldn't have to do anything.
Well, a lot of areas, yeah.
Well, even if we
Some of them are all right.
But we can also get probably KDOT for, if we make it a walking exercise route, we might be able to get funding for sidewalks.
Transportation alternative.
Yeah. To these various, what?
I know McPherson has kind of a park like that, the chicken.
Okay, anyway, that was my idea about Marysville and
That's a
FEMA lot.
good idea, because and there's so many trees down there. It's actually very nice to walk down there, because you got.
And it's flat. I love that. I love biking that quadrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, can we go ahead and look into it a little bit, see what happens?
Go for it. I'd be okay with it.
Okay. That was all mine. Cemetery and airport?
Back to the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Beth Skinner, for years, has been pulling weeds and she wants to retire from that. And she told me that, I don't know if I should mention the names, the two gals who had helped on 7th Street are no longer going to do that. So.
It's next to my barber shop. Well, first we probably need to do something to honor these people that have done this for years and years.
And then also, Sharon Kessinger
at the water tower
hill. And these gals aren't getting any younger, kind of like me.
So what do you think we should do to honor them?
Well, it's not only honor them, it's also to replace them.
I know. Well, we just have to find volunteers. Are we going to ask RSVP if there's younger people?
Most of the volunteers are 80s, 90s.
Well, there are some younger ones. We can at least ask.
I don't know.
Well, is the garden club all older people? There's no younger people in the garden club?
I think that the dance lady always has like an annual event where she brings.
But
she does
one
like an annual
time
thing about
doesn't do
picking
it.
up trash and stuff. So
It has to be ongoing, constant.
It's just like your own flowers at the house. You have to constantly care and weed and do all of that.
There were big pushers of the 7th Street corridor, but most of them don't volunteer to help maintain.
Well, you know what? Maybe when we do our squirrel dedication, we can do a little dedication for our volunteers. Maybe we can do that and to honor them. I'm not replacing them, but I think it's time to honor them. Can we do that? A squirrel dedication honoring our volunteers?
We could, or maybe more appropriate is when we go to plant those trees in the downtown area. You might be able to honor them.
Tie it to Arbor Day? We could do that.
Yeah. So.
Okay, you think that's a better idea?
Because we're talking about that area down there. So if and they did the plants and all that stuff. So that just popped into my head. It just. Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget that. Yeah. That we're going to honor them. Downtown trees. Okay.
One more thing. I don't know, is Lions Park part of Parks and Rec, or is that?
Yes.
There is a lot of glass on the ground up there, broken glass everywhere. We were just there Friday playing, and there is a lot of broken glass.
Okay. In the parking lot or in the
park?
In the park itself.
In the park.
Can you tell if it's fresh or it's been there a while? Just curious.
It's right on top.
Yeah.
There's a lot of glass, though. Broken glass everywhere, and just with it getting warmer and kids getting out of school, running and
They're going to be playing there more.
And we've been neglectful of the other parks just because of this last weekend. It just, but I think we're gonna get it all taken care of. So.
Well, in the highlights, it was mentioned that first on 20th Street, before they mowed, they had to pick up all the trash. That's a shame. Yeah. Across from me is that lot. There's always bottles, cans, cups, and I kind of think it's people working at one particular manufacturer in town that some of the people throw out because it happens at night.
Lots of things, unfortunately, happen at night.
It happens at my place too.
I'm on 13th Street, and we've got cups, beer cans, right there at the corner of North and 13th Street. We have a lot of garbage in our yard. You gotta go out there and just pick it up.
Okay, keep our eyes open for those litterers. Put some signs up. Okay, Moving on to cemetery and airport. Police and fire. Admin and finance. The only thing I had were, yes.
I got one thing on. I hate to bring up the past, but I think the council's got an obligation to inform everybody what our city laws are. Our city code currently contains nothing about skyliners. The Marysville Code incorporates the International Fire Code, and the number of it is 308.1.6.3, which prohibits untethered skyliners. I want to make a motion to include skyliners in Chapter 7 of Article 3 of the City Code.
Okay, you make that motion?
Yes, I just did.
That would be duplication of the code.
It's different.
You want it just to be specifically stated in there?
We already have a fireworks ordinance, but we're including it to it.
Well, because the fact that we have the International Fire Code and it is included in there, that's where it's spelled out. It's in our laws right now. So to put it in our code specifically, it would be a duplication of what's already there.
I don't see it that way, but probably you do. I'm sorry. It's just, they're two different things, because the state of Kansas doesn't, the International Fire Code, a lot of places they can have skyliners.
Right.
We can't. It's got to be in our code book here.
Right.
We can't have them because we're with the International Fire Code.
Right. Yeah, we can't have them.
Do you have that code book, how that reads? You have that code book?
It's
the international.
it says
the subsection of that.
Yeah, it says that we are using the international.
For it to be allowed here, we'd have to specifically opt out of that provision of the International Fire Code, which we have not.
Insurance and everything else in our town if we're not going to be part of that. That's why we get low insurance rates.
Well, we are a part of the international. We have that as our guidelines, or as our law.
I understand, but we spent an hour here at the last meeting trying to do something that it said we couldn't do, and everybody went along with it.
Mm-hmm.
That can't go on. That's why I think we should make a motion to take care of it.
Specifically about sky lanterns?
Yes, they're untethered lanterns.
I think the problem was we just didn't have the correct information. Wasn't that it?
I think in the future, we probably just need to not approve things without researching them
Yes,
further.
we need
Going straight to researching them.
Because we just didn't know, but now we do know. Because we could still go against our code here and not know without researching it. I think the key is we just need to slow down, probably.
You think what?
We probably just need to slow down and do more research before we approve a lot of things. We just
That'd be
are new
nice,
things.
and maybe not rely on somebody telling you something that didn't happen.
You still have that motion out there?
Yes, I do.
Does anybody want to second it?
I've got a question. What do you mean telling something that didn't happen?
I don't think you were here. You were in Cuba or wherever you went.
No, I was not in Cuba. I wish I was in Cuba.
Africa.
A mojito sounds great at 10 o'clock. But no, I was here at the last meeting. It would have been 2 meetings ago or 3 meetings ago.
Well, instead of having something on the agenda like it should have been, it got slipped in the door. And then everybody sit here after last year sitting at a meeting and hearing that it was prohibited by the International Fire Code. They said, can't do it. This time, the depot group comes in and they want to have the sky lanterns. Everybody voted for it to do it even after we...
Contingent on approval. Yeah, contingent on the fire marshal and code approval. So that's why it didn't go. Well, it didn't go because they withdrew the request, but it was contingent on approval.
That's why they withdrew their request.
So the system, to me, the system worked. It's unfortunate we wasted time on it, but...
Well, I don't know how everybody in the city would know that they weren't legal. And here, the fireworks, 4th of July is coming up. And if you look at all the stuff in our code book, it says that it's all legal. The only place say, well, I don't have a copy of the International Fire Code. What does it say? So why isn't it included in what we can do for fireworks in our city?
Are there other things in the international that aren't?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Do we adopt all of those individual things? I mean, we pluck them all out, move them over.
The only thing you have to adopt is 308 1.63.
But what I'm saying is, if we do that one, there's maybe other things that we would have to also pluck out that we just haven't come up to us yet. It just seems like a Pandora's box of things, where we'd have to move a lot of things over. But this, as it is, we've moved one class of things over. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
All I want is the public, all of our constituents, to know what the law is about it, so somebody's not getting a ticket for doing something that they think they can.
Well, yeah, I think that's good. I think because there have been sky lanterns in the past, you said, right? So public awareness is
They
good.
sell them in town. I mean, I guess that's the thing too, is that.
Because it's not legal to
buy
sell them,
them.
it's illegal to use them.
Yeah.
How
Because they're not
crazy is
banned.
that?
Because they're not actually banned in Kansas,
No.
correct?
No.
It's just a
That's
fire. It's a problem
exactly
with the fire
correct.
code.
It's not like bottle
Some states
rockets and
have
that class
banned
of
them,
things that
but
are actually
Kansas is not.
banned.
The rockets, yeah.
Which they seem at least dangerous as bottle rockets. I never
Well,
understood that.
all
but
fireworks can cause a fire.
Improperly
That's
used.
the thing, yeah.
So, we still have a motion here. Terry wants to add that to our code. Is there a second, or do you want clarification, or you want to see what our code says? What do you want to
Require an
do?
ordinance to change the code.
Oh, require an ordinance? Do you want us to go ahead and draft an ordinance to change that, and then we can vote on the ordinance?
That's what I want, personally. We went through too big of a mess last week. We lost a lot of time, and we're losing a lot of time now just talking about it.
Yeah, can we have a meeting where we meet with the fire chief and decide, like, maybe
What other things we should include?
what we need to proceed, how we need to proceed? With it?
The issue with his request is he wants it included in the code of ordinances, when it already technically is in our code of ordinances. I mean, we incorporated the whole book. It's all part of this.
This is what our codes are.
Yes, and
It's within there.
And then within our code book, we take the option, like I think we've done elsewhere, to go, we don't want to do this,
Yeah,
we
if
don't
we're
want
going
to
to
do
do any
this.
ordinance, we would have an ordinance to opt out.
Opt out of
that.
it. Yeah, and we don't have an ordinance opting out of the Skylanders portion. So technically, it is in our ordinances. And if anybody wants to know
I
that.
mean, you can always, I guess, put a bracket, which, you could make it really easy that says which disallows sky lanterns in section blah, blah. I mean, I guess you could put that in if you want it specifically laid out.
The only thing I know, last time I was the only one voted no against it, and everybody in town that likes to have a celebration there at the depot, I didn't care about that. It's the idea, when they knew I voted no, they thought I was against their celebration. I wasn't. I wanted to follow the law. That was the only thing I wanted.
But I don't think it was brought to our attention that night when we voted on it that it was breaking any law. I mean, there were concerns about
there was concern
possibly
that it had to
causing a
be
fire,
cleared.
but that's with any firework.
Right.
And
You're one of the lucky ones that wasn't on the council last year, because everybody else sat at the meeting when it all got taken care of last year. Everybody.
Skylanders got brought up last year?
Yes, it was.
They did. And,
I wouldn't agree that.
We've got the film, you can watch it if you want to see it.
Okay.
So the problem is that when we have things that are presented to us at the last minute, that we try to vote upon, that we haven't done research, that we haven't vetted to say, haven't we discussed this last year? You know? And so that's the real problem, is that we should not discuss on anything that's not on the agenda. We really shouldn't.
That's a good point, because we meet twice a month. So in theory, there should never be too many times when that's
And
a
that
problem.
And even if it's on the agenda,
I know.
sometimes we need additional research, or
Which is what we did on this golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be willing to table it and do further meetings and research.
Well, the 4th of July is coming up, and I want to see something done about it. That's all I want. If you can't do a motion, I don't quite understand that. I'll have to check. I want to talk to Olson about it. I think it could be included so that everybody in the town knows what the law is about.
About that specifically? Since we saw it.
Anything that's really
I would
specific.
say if anything, if it would be a policy change or an ordinance change, would be if we don't want people shooting them off, lighting them off in town, then ban sales of them in the city
I think
limits.
getting the word out's a good idea. I just don't think that this is the right way to do it. That's my opinion. I mean, I think maybe that and other things that people might assume are illegal, maybe doing, I don't know, newsletter, maybe the radio, maybe the newspaper, getting word out that these things are banned. You can buy them here, but you cannot light them here for XYZ reasons, and do a PR campaign.
Yeah, but if you're going to sell them, I mean, they're going to light them.
From being sold themselves.
I'm sure we could, but this is.
I know, they probably, a lot of them have already bought a lot of their stuff.
We have a lot of ordinances. I don't know how many more we need. Sometimes I feel like.
I don't know, I'm just trying to.
Okay, so what's the consensus? He has a motion that he wants to change the ordinance, to modify the ordinance to include Sky Lantern specifically.
Exactly.
Was there a second to prepare that ordinance, draft an ordinance for modification? Okay. So it fails because there's no second.
Fine.
All right, the only other thing I have in admin and finance is at that Kester House Advisory Board, they had those requests and you didn't bring them up as far as...
Yeah, I put those, or we had the minutes put there, and I think the minutes said somebody needed to come and present to the council.
Yeah, there was a few things like that.
It says, need to discuss the need to discuss the detail, raise the questions, I don't know. He said Ralph Ballon made a motion to bring a request to the city council to repair. Second, a motion carried. Made a motion to bring a request to city council with a test panel. I don't think it said that they were going to have somebody here representing them.
But we included the draft of the minutes because, as I understand it, minutes have to be approved at the next meeting. But
you don't think we should discuss
you can discuss it. I think the idea was to be basically they wanted the city to be okay with them raising funds for the wall.
Made a motion to bring a request to city council to repair or replace wood flooring in the upper level of the coal shed at the south wall of the west room and in the upper central, and to install metal roofing over the arch area. So they made a request for the city council to do that. So wouldn't it be the city council to go ahead and say, are we going to do that?
Shouldn't it be on the agenda?
Yeah, they usually bring their requests in, like Sharon will come in and ask.
Well, that's not how...
I mean, that's just their minutes.
Okay, well, you need to communicate to Sharon that somebody has to make that request.
Okay.
All right, moving along. Anybody else have anything else?
To bring it circle back around. I haven't got, hold on. The rock was not specifically addressed, is what the answer. Any apologies.
That's not our fault.
And it's not, yeah.
It was not specifically addressed.
The rock was not specifically addressed between 7th and 8th.
So are we going to go ahead and take that low bid and see what happens?
That sounds scary.
I know, it sounds scary.
Because they may come back with a change order
They'll
on it.
come back with a bunch of change orders. Can we go out for?
Well, we can agree to do it without change orders too, can't we?
Yeah, we can vote not to
do change orders.
So going back to this North Street Waterline project with Larson having the low bid, does someone want to make the motion to go ahead and accept that? Do you want to go back to your initial bid, Darlene?
Yes.
Which was to go with...
So whose responsibility, just to get that out there, is it to put out there that there is rock? Because I wouldn't have known that.
They're supposed to do an inspection. I mean, when they bid it, they're supposed to come out and do a site inspection, right?
Yes, and they did.
So
that's their baby.
Okay, I move that we accept Larson's construction bid of $294,180 for the North Street water line project from 7th Street to 12th Street. $200,000 to come out of water revenue and the rest out of water utility reserve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. All right. So, appointments, they're on page 77. The only thing I wanted to add to appointments is I did talk to the city prosecutor, Elizabeth Vasquero-Hilden, and she will continue serving as city prosecutor with no changes to her contract at the same rate that she's doing right now. And I also emailed the city attorney, Craig Olson, and he will do the same. So there wouldn't be any change in their contract or their prices at this time. And they both are willing to continue to serve in those positions. Oh, and I should say, Shane Thorson has an E in there.
I wondered about that.
Yeah. So, so add those two to the appointments on page 77,
Move to approve the mayor's appointments,
including my
including the amendment.
city prosecutor and city attorney.
Correct.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. All right. City attorney is not here. I do not know of any reason to have an executive session.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yes. I'll make a motion as allowed in KSA 754319 to go into executive session to discuss the individual job performance of non-elected personnel for 10 minutes starting at
10 minutes? Starting at 9:41? And ending at, how about 9:55? Including who? The governing body?
the whole bunch, the whole horseshoe.
Including Austin?
Mm-hmm.
Debbie? Debbie Price?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's about personnel, so I want to talk in private.
About a specific person?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, till 9:55 to order. No binding decisions were made during executive session. We're back in regular meeting. All right, roundtable. I'm going to read a Poppy proclamation with Memorial Day coming up. So, whereas America is a land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle. Whereas a native at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. Whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower, therefore I, Carla Grund, Mayor of the City of Marysville, Kansas, do hereby proclaim this 25th day of May 2018 as Poppy Day, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed this official seal of Marysville, Kansas, this 14th day of May 2018. So, and she gave everybody poppies to wear, so it is very nice. And it does remind you of the sacrifice made for our great country that we live in. So with that being said, Memorial Day, I hope you all attend the services. And our meeting date will then be on the 29th, that Tuesday the 29th, because the 28th is a holiday. And I was not here for Mother's Day market. I was being a grandmother and a mother in Charlotte. So did anyone attend the market? Was it a good success?
Mm-hmm.
It was?
It was okay. There was there's a couple empty
lots?
Yeah.
Stands?
Was that one?
But it looked like there was a good turnout at the chicken barbecue. Good turnout?
I don't go to that.
Did you go, Darlene? You usually take your family. Your family usually takes you.
My family went and picked up
Okay, so you weren't there.
I had an ankle that was bothering me.
Okay, so I hope that it was a great turnout, and I think that's all I have to say. Memorial Day, new council, and Mother's Day market. That's it. Darlene?
Yes, Austin, would you give Dave a big thanks for getting on the weed and nuisances and...
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, and to continue the good work.
Bobby?
I'm good.
Gina? Terry?
Yes, got a couple things up. Ron Grauer said that the city's got a wreath, and they'd really like for somebody from the council to lay that wreath at the memorial service. It'd be about 10:30, but it starts at 10 o'clock.
I offered to do that. Do you want to do it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather not do it.
Okay.
But he asked me if I'd put the word out, and if somebody would do it, what?
Will you call Ron and let him know I'm going to plan to do it? Anything else?
One other thing, because it's kind of, Darlene saying something about how thanking Dave for doing that deal. I thought it was good too to get those notices out. But I had a call, and they were disappointed in the cemetery because it had to be neglected really bad. The cemetery was bad, and there was some people that were really upset about the shape it was in. So that's the only things I had to report.
Did you get a call too?
Oh, I had somebody come in. Yep.
I have 10 calls on my answer machine. I haven't picked them up yet.
We knew it was going to get bad. It's just the way everything, the rain, the backlog of other things that happened, and then Mother's Day market just threw another wrench into it. It is a priority now.
Okay.
Kind of one of the most important holidays we have for a cemetery to be nice.
We probably need
It'll definitely be nice. It will be nice. Yeah.
We probably need to make sure that in the future we keep cemetery and parks there a little bit instead of putting them all devoted to the market.
It wasn't just the market. It was it was a lot of things. Yes, the market threw it on top of there, but it's just how it rained every other day for a week, and then to catch up with the growth that you need to mow twice a week everywhere. So it was a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Terry?
No, that's all I had.
Todd?
Kind of on the Mother's Day market thing, they're also part of that every year is the art show that they have at the high school down here, and it's very impressive every year. It's amazing the talent.
Yeah, April Spicer finds talented people.
And in all sorts of media. I mean, charcoal to watercolor, ceramics, the whole 9 yards. I talked to her a little bit about it, but we're really lucky to have such a art program here and doing that. And I know it was a little tough this year with the construction as far as I think they had traffic down a little bit because you had to kind of walk around. People who weren't sure how to navigate it, but I'm glad it's something we have and we can support. Also, it was the Pony Up Marysville Day was very successful this year. Again, even more successful than last year. A lot of good causes around town benefited from that and from the matching dollars that were donated. I know one of the projects that I've been tangentially involved in is getting the Blue River Rail Trail down into town. That'll benefit us. I know they've been doing a lot of earthwork as far as getting it to the corner of 7th and North Street. So I think I've said it a couple months ago, but I know at some point they're going to need to come talk to us about getting it on 7th Street and continuing it all down into the city. But something to kind of keep in mind. I know they've got a big bridge going in there, and now they'll have funding to put in the fence as they have to do to separate it from the UP yards. So I think that's another, one of the many exciting kind of projects that now will get a boost. And thanks to everyone for supporting that and supporting your community. I hope we keep it up. That's all I got.
Great.
Nope.
Jason? Okay, with that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Couldn't quite make it.